Corey and Zach lingered in foster care for years, longing for a permanent place to call home. They lost hope.
I felt alone in the world. I didn't feel loved. Every day felt like a lost cause. I thought, who would want to adopt an older child?
I thought, I'm going to end up on the streets. That's just how it's going to be.
Thankfully, Corey and Zach's journey changed when they were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
It's really difficult to wonder how you're going to make it. I'm not going to have that problem now. I just won't. Because I have a family.
Today, Corey and Zach have bright futures. But every year, thousands of youth age out of foster care with no permanent family and no safety net. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Kristen Bell. When my kids fall down or get tummy aches, I treat them with hugs, kisses, and colorful Band-Aids. But when kids are really sick, I'm so grateful for Children's Miracle Network hospitals with care designed for kids. But as great as children's hospitals are, they need our help to ensure every kid has the chance to get better. Please join me in supporting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network hospital.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
49ers. For 100.
.com. Now, here are your... It's time for Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. This hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on what is already a busy Tuesday morning in sports. That's right, it's 7 a.m. We got some breaking news we'll get to in just a moment. But we do welcome you in on this seasonably warm Tuesday. Already 60 degrees. It's headed up to 75 degrees today. It'll be mostly sunny. The clouds will roll in a little bit this afternoon, but should be a splendid day. It's the Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 edition of the program. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd. We come to you from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Their ultimate game room sale going on right now, just in time for the holidays. First hour of the program also brought to you by Action 24/7. On the program today, the Grizzlies take advantage of a putrid Rockets team as they roll last night to end the losing streak and hand the Rockets their 12th straight loss. We'll talk about the Grizzlies in a few moments. A surprise on Monday Night Football between the Rams and the 49ers in the Odell Beckham Jr. debut for the Los Angeles Rams. College basketball aplenty as the Tigers back on the hardwood tonight, and it looks like the competition will be a lot tougher than it was their first two games as they'll take on the 3-0 Billikens of St. Louis University. We will discuss that. The Tigers move up in the AP men's basketball poll, which was released yesterday afternoon. We will talk about that. Major League Baseball postseason awards start to roll in, and the College Football Playoff Selection Committee top 25 will come out tonight. Will there be any changes in the top 6? Connor O'Gara will join us to talk all things college football at 7:25. At 9:05, Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis. And then Tigers assistant basketball coach Cody Toppert at 9:25. Perfect timing as he will preview with us the Tigers and the Billikens. It's all coming up on the program today. Plus Humdinger's Trivia will come your way a little bit later on. And we'll give you the topic for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. First of all, let me bring in my partner, Eli Savoy. How are you, man?
I think I'm good today. I think I'm going to go good. I'm going good today.
Well, it's a good day. You have a Hustle broadcast tonight. I have a Tigers broadcast tonight. You have another one on Thursday. I have another one on Friday. That's always fun when we get to broadcast games, whatever the sport may be. I think you get a little bit more of that than I do, being the voice of the Hustle, but I think it's fun just to be able to, get away and do something a little bit different from just sports talk radio. But we certainly enjoy being with you guys every single Monday through Friday from 7 to 10. And right off the bat, this is crazy. The 12th head coaching change so far this season. In season, the 12th head coaching change. And it happens to be a friend of the show, former Memphis Tiger head coach Justin Fuente is out at Virginia Tech. He was in his 6th season. The team was 5-5 this year, 43-31 overall for Fuente, so 12 games over 500. But Justin Fuente, the rumors were swirling. The seat was certainly getting a lot hotter and finally came to a crescendo today as he is out. They will not wait until December 15th, meaning he will be paid $10 million in his buyout as opposed to $7.5 million if they had waited to December 15th. But that seems to be the move of the year, Eli, in coaching, is that coaches are getting canned midseason or sometime during the season to get maybe a new coach in before the early signing period or whatever the case may be. Money not an object with some of these schools, as they will pay out Justin Fuente the $10 million, as this one was a firing without cause. Justin Fuente just didn't cut it in what Virginia Tech expected him to bring to the table in his 6 years.
Yeah, the folks at Virginia Tech up early in the morning firing coaches. I know they're an hour ahead of us, but my goodness. They sent out the tweet at 6:39 Central Time.
Yeah, great for us to start off the morning with some breaking news, but not great for our friend Justin.
Not good for Justin when you're called into the office, little 7 a.m. meeting with the old AD or president, whoever was doing that. That's probably not a good sign. Probably knew what was happening as he was walking in today.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't a late night text that said, just don't come into the office tomorrow. Hopefully they did it face to face. I'm sure they did. But yeah, so Justin Fuente is a good coach. He's a good coach. He will bounce back. Perhaps one of these openings that are out there right now would be something that will come his way, but I don't know. He did a magnificent job at Memphis. He took over this program, the Memphis program, in dire straits, coming off the Larry Porter 2-year disaster. And it was a rough first year as Justin Fuente was getting his feet wet and becoming a head coach and becoming the new head coach at Memphis. And then very quickly was able to turn things around, followed up by Mike Norvell and now Ryan Silverfield. And certainly you hope that this year, if the Tigers somehow don't make a bowl, is not the start of going in the other direction. And that's something that's obviously going to be debated for the next few weeks into the offseason, depending what the Tigers do in their final 2 games. But Justin Fuente was instrumental in turning around the Memphis Tiger football program. So it was only obvious that any coach that has success, especially turning around a program, is going to get looks from bigger programs. And he got a big look, and he got an offer, and he took the job, which is understandable, to go to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, under Frank Beamer, was an incredible program, one of the better programs in the entire country. They have not been the same. And they were basically a mediocre ACC team under Fuente. But again, he leaves with 12 more wins than losses. So in a normal circumstance, you go, that's pretty good. But the expectations are much higher at Virginia Tech, as they are at Florida State, as they usually are at Miami. There's 3 or 4 of those schools, obviously Clemson at the top of the heap, but there's about 3 or 4 of those in the ACC where the expectations are much higher, but the results have not been what the expectations are. So it's tough.
The problem for Justin Fuente is it has been, for the most part, regression. They when he first got there, 10-4 first year, 9-4 second year, and then 6-7. Bounced somewhat back with an 8-5 year, but last year 5-6. This year not going well, right at 500 again. So it has been, the sign is as he's gotten his players in, it has gotten worse. And
right.
That's never going to go over well for a head coach. And I do think I think Justin Fuente is a fantastic coach. I do wonder about Justin Fuente as a recruiter. I think that is his weakness, and he needs to. He'll get another opportunity. I don't know when. May not be right away or whatever. He may go be a coordinator or whatever. But Justin Fuente will be a head coach again at some point, and I think his big thing is to make sure he's got some big time recruiters on his staff, because I think recruiting is probably his weakness.
It's also not a good thing when it's a watered down ACC. Even Clemson's down this year. But the last few years, it's been Clemson and everybody else. So to not be able to take advantage of that doesn't help you. Then you see a guy like Hendon Hooker leaves Virginia Tech, doesn't work out there. He goes to Tennessee, and he's been a godsend for the most part for the Vols. So he's been a terrific quarterback under Josh Heupel, and it wasn't the same under Justin Fuente. So again, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering, what? Justin Fuente fired from Virginia Tech. Early morning breaking news, the 12th head coaching change so far in 2021. We'll get back to college football a little bit later on. In fact, Connor O'Gara in about 15 minutes to talk all things college football. But last night on the hardwood, it was the Grizzlies and the Rockets from FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies end their losing streak, and they do it convincingly. This game was over. Seriously, I went there and watched this game for 3 quarters and then left. It was over in the first few minutes. That Rockets team is worse than last year's Rockets team. They're horrible. They're absolutely atrocious. They're throwing balls into the 3rd and 4th rows. They got guys for breakaways. They're overthrowing the dudes like a bad quarterback in the NFL. Just a bad team. They got a few really good, talented players that I think their future looks bright, including Jalen Green, the number 2 pick overall in the most recent draft. But, Eli, they are really, really bad. 12 straight losses. They have 1 win. They're 1-13, and I know the Grizzlies lost in New Orleans Saturday to a 1-win team. A little bit different. Brandon Ingram returned for New Orleans. Grizzlies shouldn't have lost that game, but they've been playing horribly. So this wasn't on the Grizzlies playing a great game last night. They played fine. But this is more an indictment on the Rockets. But the Grizzlies needed it. It's what the doctor ordered. They win 136-102.
Yeah, when you're ailing, this is the Rockets. I think any NBA team, the Rockets are a good team to dial up if you just need to take out some anger, have a little fun, enjoy some success, see shots go in, all kinds of good things that can happen against that Rockets team. And it was good to see the Grizzlies, after really struggling from three-point range the last few games, to see some shots go down. A lot of guys, everybody getting into the game. I guess that was active. So yeah, that was good to see. Good and much needed. Now a couple of days off, feeling a little bit better about themselves before they get a tough Clippers team coming to town.
Yeah, you mentioned 15 guys, so their entire roster that dressed out. You have 15 for maximum for a game. 14 of those guys scored. 14 of the 15 scored. Only John Conchar did not score. John Moran had a scary situation early in the game. Now, I didn't get all the information because I'm not watching on TV and, Pete giving the information, which I'm sure he did, or Eric on radio. So we weren't positive, but it looked like Ja had got hit in the noggin, and then he disappeared for a while. And we saw his father, T, who sits in the front row on the baseline, not the baseline, but the sideline. It was his birthday, and happy birthday to T a day later. But he was gone as well, so I figured that they were probably looking at him for a possible concussion, because he get clobbered on a play, and so T was gone. Then all of a sudden, Ja comes back to the bench, T comes back to the bench, and Ja gets back into the game. And while he doesn't play in the fourth because it's a blowout, he still scores 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in 25 minutes. So even though he got popped in the head and it looked scary there for a second, Ja doing Ja things. But Jaren chipped in with 18 points. Dylan had 16. Balanced scoring. Better defense, but again, it's hard to gauge when the Rockets are throwing up bricks. I mean, there were more bricks than Super Mario in one of those darn games, video games. I'm telling you, it was comical to watch the Rockets play basketball. It was that bad.
Well, the good thing, too, I mean, the Grizzlies, nobody even played 25 minutes in the game, so they are a well-rested bunch now. Again, we got a couple of days off as well, so this is, again, this was good medicine. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Clippers will come in on Thursday, and they beat the Clippers out in Los Angeles. Kawhi's still not back, is he?
I don't believe so, no.
And
he didn't play the other night, I know. I don't know what his timeline is, actually.
Yeah, and then they'll have Minnesota on the road on Saturday. So, yeah, I'm not saying that their ills are all cured by a win over the Rockets. They'll have a much, much stiffer test on Thursday against the Clippers, but a win is a win is a win. Speaking of wins, tonight at FedEx Forum, it's all about the college guys as two teams who have won all their games will collide. St. Louis off to a 3-0 start. The Tigers off to a 2-0 start. Memphis moves up to 11th in the latest AP men's basketball poll, which was released yesterday. By the way, Illinois, which is 10th, lost last night to Marquette. So they'll drop down. Good chance that Memphis, if they take care of business against St. Louis and Western Kentucky, will be in the top 10 when the AP poll is released next Monday. But St. Louis, certainly a step up from their first two games against Tennessee Tech and North Carolina Central. Now, St. Louis, their best player not their best player from last year, but their leading scorer from last year, who would be their best player this year, was lost in an exhibition game to a torn ACL. So they lose, I think his name's Parker. They lose him.
Perkins,
sorry. Devontae Perkins. Yeah. Sorry, Javonte Perkins. They lose him. That's a big loss. But they also lost 2 4-year guys that graduated, used up their eligibility. Or maybe they had another year with the way it's all messed up now and decided to leave. But they're both playing professionally. One's in the G League and one is playing, I think, in Slovenia. So they lose those two guys, which was the heart and soul of their team, and then Perkins, their top scorer. So that's a lot of firepower for Travis Ford to lose. Yet they went out, they got some guys from the transfer portal, and they have stepped up. And one of the guys that has stepped up is Jordan Nesbitt, who was with the Memphis Tigers last year for 3 games. Played just a few minutes, decided to go back home to St. Louis. That's where he's from. And he's their second leading scorer and one of their top rebounders. So he'll be in action tonight. They got a guy named Yuri Collins, who's a point guard and is one of the top assist guys in the country from last year and off to a great start this year. So this will be a better challenge, and we'll get the thoughts of Cody Topper. That'll be coming your way at about 9:25.
Yeah, certainly, not the SLU team we would have thought because of Perkins. I mean, it was a first-team all-conference, preseason guy. And I'll say this: I was looking at the game notes. If Penny Hardaway has the success against SLU as a coach as he did as a player, then it should be a quite a comfortable win tonight. My goodness gracious. Penny liked seeing him some St. Louis University Billikens in his playing days.
5-0 as a player versus St. Louis. He averaged, I don't have the notes in front of me, but I think it was something like 22,
10, and 6.
Yeah.
And had a game of 5 steals and had another game of 7 steals. He basically owned St. Louis U when he played them. Like, gosh darn, man, that's some incredible stuff.
St. Louis thought they were done with Penny Hardaway. Oh, no, here he is again.
He might be trying to suit up tonight. He's probably like, listen, I'd rather get out there and play. Like, I can just walk in on the court, I put up 20 and 10 against these guys.
How about the history between these two schools? 4 different leagues they were members of together.
Yep, they've but it's been a little while. Of course, they met in the NCAA tournament. I guess that was Pastor's era, right?
It was 2011, I believe.
Was it 11? That was an ugly game.
Yes, it was.
Was that Majerus at St. Louis U?
Yeah, that was his team.
Was it? Yeah, because it reminds me. It made me think of a Majerus game because I know it was low scoring and ugly. So I figured that was a Majerus game.
And them boys could not hit a shot to save their lives that day.
That was a game. I was just looking it over yesterday and was doing my notes for the game, but it was Will Barton was on that team. I assume Will Coleman was on that team, and Wesley Witherspoon, guys like that. But, yeah, it was rough trying to score in that particular game. But this is a good, solid St. Louis team. They're picked to finish third in the A-10 despite the losses from last year and the loss of Perkins. So we'll talk more Tigers.
Well, that pick of the third of the A-10 was before Perkins was lost too. So
that's true. But again, they got some guys that have transferred in that need to step up and have stepped up so far. But again, the level of competition for both them and Memphis, let's be honest, to this point is very limited. Now they will each get in each other a challenge. It won't be the biggest challenge by any stretch of the imagination for Memphis. They need to take care of business, and therefore they're a 11-point favorite, I believe, in this game.
I've not seen the line.
I think they're an 11-point favorite, so they're expected to win the basketball game. You're at home. You're the better team. You have more talent. You should win the basketball game. You don't need an early season hiccup. And then after St. Louis, Western Kentucky on Friday, Rick Stansbury's team, which has already lost a couple. It's not the same team as last year because Bassey's gone. And next week they head to the Barclays Center with a bigger challenge against Virginia Tech, which they will definitely play. Could end up with Iowa State. Could end up with Xavier. So that will be. And then after that, all of a sudden now you're into the SEC games that are on the schedule. And you have quite a few of them with Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. And of course, that Tennessee game on a neutral court at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. NFL last night, the 49ers beat the Rams 31-10. Sorry, I was wrong when I did my little pick yesterday. I didn't see this one coming. Evidently, the Rams didn't see it coming either.
2 rough weeks in a row for the Rams after looking really, really good. They've had a couple of rough weeks with the loss to the Titans and now just dominated last night. Odell Beckham Jr. got out there for a little bit. I think he went 15 snaps, something like that. Had a couple of catches in the game, but Stafford with a couple of interceptions, including the pick six. It was ugly. It was all 49ers, and the Rams doing all this tinkering, bringing in guys. Von Miller really no impact whatsoever. Obviously, Odell was not going to be able to make an impact after one practice with the team. So there wasn't going to be much there. But they lost Robert Woods, who is a big part of that offense. I don't know that Odell is going to be able to replace him. They weren't able to run the ball at all, but we'll see. I don't know if the Titans kind of laid a blueprint for how to beat the Rams and slow down that offense or what it was. But boy, they looked awful against the 49ers.
I'm so mad. I saw a prop bet and it paid well, for OBJ to have 5 catches. And I would not have played that other than the fact that Woods was lost for the year. And there he was. He started. The first pass was to him. He got 2 catches, and they didn't play him for a good port. I didn't understand. I thought because Woods was out and he started the game that they'd be able to throw to him and he'd have more targets, and it just did not happen. Stafford was off. He threw those 2 picks, as you mentioned. Jimmy Ward taking one back 27 yards. And the 49ers really did a good job in mixing things up. The running backs were playing receiver. The receivers were playing running back. Deebo Samuel ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown. And it's interesting, after the game, when I was home from the Grizzlies and ESPN came on and they did their analysis of the game, and they talked about San Francisco just being the more physical team. And then I heard that also about New England and Cleveland. And I'm thinking to myself, all those big bad guys on Cleveland, Myles Garrett and company, and then Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, all those guys on the Rams, they're being out tough too? What is wrong? It seems like it's bizarro world. George Costanza. Everything's different. Everything's the opposite. I would have thought that the Rams would be the more physical team, but they were not. Give credit to the 49ers. I mean, Kyle Shanahan. That was a great game plan. They get to win 31-10. They're still alive. They're 5-4. I had them in the playoffs before the season started. They haven't played like a playoff team. Jimmy G doing just enough. And the Rams, as you mentioned, 2 straight losses now fall to 7-3. Folks, Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, for all your roofing and home repair needs, is a locally owned and operated business. Brandon McCullough is the owner of the company. Give him a call and tell him I sent you at 901-438-5084. That's 901-438-5084. If you need a new roof, get it taken care of. They offer financing with many different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket, whatever it takes. You can go to their website to find out more about them at newroofmemphis.com. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. And they do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners, property managers, along with homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work, satisfaction guaranteed. That includes work around the home, like carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, install shingles, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair, whatever you can't do yourself. Let the experts do it at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, quality work at a very good price. Again, Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Mark down this number, 901-438-5084. That's 901-438-5084. If you're driving, of course, don't write down the number, but you can call the station after 9 o'clock for any of our sponsors to get the phone number, to get the contact information. But if you're at home and you're listening, mark it down. Give Brandon a call, 901-438-5084, or go online to newroofmemphis.com. I want to remind everybody, they could also be a participant in the program by hitting us up on the AutoZone listener lines or AutoZone text line. We do have a guest coming up next, but during open segments, call in or text in at any time, 901-360-8255. Same number for both, 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Connor O'Gara joins us next to talk some college pigskin. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, this is former Tiger Gabe Kuhn. Check out my new show, Sports Time, with Brett Norsworthy. Make sure you join Stats and I every single afternoon from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new, latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you.
The NFL season is giving us a big Week 11 divisional matchup between rivals, the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks, and FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger, because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can win $150 on a $5 bet. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. Already a FanDuel Sportsbook user? FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will get $50 too. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up with promo code BIGHEAD this week before the Cardinals take on the Seahawks. You could win $150 on a $5 bet exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
The Christmas spirit is here at Hewlett & Dunn. Boots, casual boots, work boots, hiking boots, fancy boots, even safety toe boots. Lots of hats to choose from Whiskey Bent to Red Dirt Hat Company. Tremendous Christmas selections just arrived from Outback Trading Company, STS Ranch Wear, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps and pants. Tons of jeans from Area, Wrangler Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from OFO's orthopedic-approved shoes, boots of every size, every color, every skin. Just arrived from Santa, toy guns for the and done from our family to your family since 1961. Merry Christmas.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, no new accidents to report at this moment, but we're dealing with well, actually, we have several accidents going on this morning as I refresh my screen. But on the I-40 bridge, the right lane is blocked going from Arkansas into the city of Memphis. So that's the right lane is blocked on the I-40 bridge going from Arkansas into the city of Memphis. So the new accidents that are happening right now. We're going to crash on I-55 at Shelby Drive. The two center lanes are blocked, and it's stacking up towards Holmes Road. That's I-55 at Shelby Drive, and then also an accident on Highland at Summer Avenue. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Boy, if you thought yesterday was great weather-wise here in Memphis in the Mid-South, today, 76 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Some clouds will roll in later in the day. Right now it's 60 at 7:30 in the morning on November 16th. Weird and wild stuff. Connor O'Gara joins us in just a moment. Congratulations to Calvin Austin. He and Dylan Parham have both been invited to play in the Reese's Senior Bowl. Great for Calvin, the former walk-on out of Harding Academy. He's had an unbelievable career, and of course, Dylan Parham has been one of the mainstays on the offensive line. So both headed to the Reese's Senior Bowl. Right now, it's time for us to connect with Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com. Now, here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
Connor O'Gara joins us every single Tuesday, all year long. We can't thank him enough. Senior national columnist for Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara, and he's had to work hard early this morning with the breaking news of Justin Fuente. And already, Connor, I know you've tweeted out a list of possible replacements. How are you this morning, first of all? And second of all, what about the move by Virginia Tech?
You guys, I'm doing well. It's good any day in which I don't get fired at 7:45 in the morning.
Right.
So
They're up
we're
early.
grateful.
They fire more people before 8 a.m. than most people fire all day.
Right? Like, what happens when you get fired at 7:45? Do you like, go back to bed?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know,
You go to
man.
the
Like,
Waffle House. That's what you do. You go eat some breakfast.
Yes, do the Gus Malzahn, drown your sorrows, hit up Waffle House. That everybody would understand completely. Yeah, it's an interesting move that we feel like was somewhat inevitable, right? I mean, we're seeing this year the midseason firings. We're not seeing, hey, oh, you beat Duke, congratulations, you get to keep your job now. It's really, hey, athletic directors are thinking big picture. They're thinking about their recruiting classes, the early signing period, all those things. I mean, I had heard rumblings about this like back in September of 2019 that Justin Fuente just wasn't the right fit. And it's crazy because when that hire happened, it seemed like such a home run fit. And I know you guys know that well with his roots in Memphis and the way that he was able to build the program up there and things that he did at Virginia Tech. You know, you would say early on, like, yeah, that's exactly the way you draw it up. But a lot of fans were going to be skeptical as soon as Bud Foster was gone. And you know, he just hasn't lived up to those expectations. He's the typical, like, hey, you get into the top 25, and then you watch it all fall apart. So, yeah, it's an attractive job. I mean, getting to go and play in that atmosphere and getting to go coach in the Coastal, I think there are a lot of coaches that are going to be very eager to try and get that job, even though it's kind of in the second tier with what's available with USC and LSU, of course.
Who do you think would be some top candidates? Could they go back and it would be, you know, obviously you would have a quick departure, and I don't know, you would leave, you know, one for the other, but do you go back to the namesake and go, could you pull Shane Beamer?
I don't think you could pull Shane Beamer. I don't think you could. And, you know, that's based on the way that I've watched him embrace that opportunity. And he doesn't necessarily come across as someone who needs to follow exactly in his dad's footsteps. He hasn't really done that. He left Virginia Tech at one point because, you know, he wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to stay on the Virginia Tech staff for 15 years. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do this my way and try and learn from as many coaches as possible. And the coaches that he's worked under, I mean, it's an incredible list to look at. So I wouldn't necessarily say that the timing is right. That's not to say that he'll never go to Virginia Tech, but right now, I think he really likes what he's building in South Carolina, and they got a ton of resources, man. They just put $50 million into that new facility. They've got an incredible recruiting class coming in. So I think that he likes the things that he's been able to do so far there. And they're a game away from bowl eligibility, which we didn't think was going to be possible in year one. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think more realistically, I mean, and they're going to pursue him, I would think, but he'll give him kind of the old stiff arm. I would think that guys like Bill O'Brien, Rhett Lashley, Joe Moorhead, Marcus Freeman, Jamie Chadwell, Mike Elko, those are the 6 names that I kind of came up with off the top of my head that either have some East Coast ties or just would be good fits and are ready to take on that Power 5 head coaching opportunity. So I think the list will be somewhat long, and I think that's a really attractive job for a lot of these candidates.
So one other thing about the ouster of Justin Fuente, which is interesting, they do it before December 15th, so they owe him $10 million in the buyout, as opposed to if they had waited $7.5 million. Now, early signing period is a whole different beast, with that being in mid-December. But that's a quick turnaround to get the new head coach in. Does that mean anything if you're doing something like this and $2.5 million is like, no big deal, we'll eat the $2.5 million? Does that look like they're going to go after somebody who is not a sitting head coach right now, or somebody that would be more readily available? Because if not, and you end up getting that head coach after the early signing period, it defeats the purpose of doing the firing now.
Yes and no, because you also then don't have to have those awkward conversations of sending your coaching staff, your current coaching staff, out on the recruiting trail and having to explain to parents, I'm totally going to be the head coach after this year. So you can kind of cut your losses in that way. I go both ways on that, and I wrote about that last week about whether or not these mid-season firings are actually good for the sport. And I think there's a lot to be said for what it says to the current roster and what those kids in that locker room are thinking about, and seeing their administration essentially give up on a season. I mean, it's kind of bizarre, but that's just the nature of the beast. And the early signing period has fueled this. And I don't think that they necessarily care about that buyout money. I mean, this is a solid job. There's plenty of booster momentum there. And I mean, there's 39 head coaches at the FBS level who have buyouts of at least $10 million this year. I mean, like, if you don't have a buyout of $10 million, you need to talk to your agent and say, hey, what's the deal here? Why don't we have something like that built into the contract? So, yeah, I don't think they're necessarily going to sweat that. I think they want to try and get out ahead of this and try and just move on to the next regime and hope that it sets them up well for this early signing period. They already have a really good start. They have a top 20 class, I believe, for 2022. So whoever takes over that job is going to have a pretty favorable situation to walk into.
If you don't have at least a $10 million buyout, you don't have Jimmy Sexton as your agent and your name.
Right.
That's basically what that means as far as that is concerned. One name that I've seen thrown out a bunch already. What are your thoughts on Hugh Freeze as a possibility?
Hugh Freeze is interesting given his ties to the area and given the icy relationship with Greg Sankey and wanting to not necessarily, like Greg Sankey made it pretty clear, like, hey, I don't want Hugh Freeze to come back into the SEC. So would he then say maybe Virginia Tech makes a little bit more sense? The team that, last year he beat at Liberty. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing to think about, that he was able to do that so early in his tenure at a job that, when he took over, was not in really good shape. It's interesting, but I don't know that culturally that's where he wants to be long term. I've always kind of thought he was, a guy who wanted to be truly back in the SEC and to take one of those head coaching jobs. I would never say never, because given the resources that he's going to have available, that would make a lot of sense for him. But at the same time, I don't know that that's where he kind of sees his destination. And I think his destination would make a little bit more sense in the Southeastern Conference.
All right, tonight, the unveiling of the new College Football Playoff Selection Committee's top 25. Last week, we had Georgia, Bama, Oregon, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Michigan, in that order, top 6. Will any of that change?
I think it could. And I think we're going to see more love for Michigan. That's the one thing that I'm bracing for tonight. I'm pre-mad about the selection committee moving Michigan to number 5 and moving Cincinnati back to number 6, with the top 4 remaining unchanged. But here's my thinking on this. We saw last week the selection committee come out and say, hey, we actually value Michigan's resume. We value it enough to tell you that the Michigan State game, whatever. You know what? They were on the road. They were up 16 late in that game. And, yeah, I guess Michigan State won it. But did they really win it? I mean, that's essentially what the selection committee said. Like, as crazy as that sounds, that's what they did. So now you go on the road, you beat Penn State in Happy Valley, another comeback victory, a team that, in my opinion, Penn State has just kind of fallen apart, even though the defense is still good. But it's a chance for the selection committee to say, hey, we honor Michigan's resume. We're telling you right now that the winner of the Big Ten, as long as it's with one loss, is getting into the playoff. Another chance to add a quality victory down the stretch here for Ohio State and Cincinnati, who didn't look particularly good against USF. I think that allows the selection committee to play that card and say, hey, you're not giving us the style points that you want. I would disagree with that personally, but I could definitely close my eyes and picture that happening tonight.
What's your feelings on the Big 12 now that Oklahoma lost a game? Do you still see them as alive, or do you think the Big 12 is pretty much done?
It's pretty much done with the exception of Oklahoma State, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State's resume is better than people realize, but the problem and the reason that Oregon is kind of getting this same sort of treatment is because you essentially have to beat a really good team twice, right? Like you're essentially going to have to beat Oklahoma and then either Oklahoma again in the Big 12 championship, or you're going to have to go and beat Baylor again. So we're kind of looking at that situation like, well, it's not too likely. And let's also listen to what the selection committee told us. Oklahoma was undefeated and ranked number 8 in the country, and Oklahoma State has one loss. So there could be potentially a ceiling there. If I'm Cincinnati, I surely would like to see Oklahoma State lose again. But now I think Oklahoma with one loss is done. I think Baylor, although they really would have been so intriguing if they could have just beat TCU, but they didn't do that, and they have 2 losses now. So I would think that it all kind of falls on the shoulders of Oklahoma State, but their path to get there is still really difficult.
Is Cincinnati on upset alert against SMU?
Have to be. I mean, look, I've been banging the drum for the Bearcats. You guys know that. I've been saying that I think they're going to go undefeated and go to the playoffs in May. But I watched a good amount of that game on Friday night, and I'm like, man, this team just does not have that gear right now. And I don't know if it's the absence of Jerome Ford, the Alabama running back transfer, or what exactly it is, because I still like that defense a lot. I love Sauce Gardner. I love Myjai Sanders. And like they still play really well, but that offense just doesn't have that switch that it can flip. And maybe it thinks it does, and maybe it's a little bit too much of this kind of casual, hey, it'll come together. They don't have that step-on-your-throat mentality, and I would worry about that against a team like SMU, who, hasn't necessarily been able to kind of live up to that billing in the second half of the season. But at the same time, that's a dangerous game, and I think one that a lot of people will be watching with a close eye. This would be an opportunity for Cincinnati to come out and show, hey, we can beat a good team and beat them convincingly. We're not just going to kind of skate by and hope that everything works out in our favor.
Can Michigan State go in and beat Ohio State?
I don't think so. I don't, but I do still wonder about, can Ohio State defend the run against a really good running back? Because, you know what, C.J. Verdell dominated them. And I haven't forgot about that. And I know I think Ohio State actually had the best run defense in the country in the month of October. Now, did they face anybody that was particularly good in the month of October? I'd argue no, not really. And even Penn State has really struggled to run the football this year. So I still do wonder about that. I think Michigan State's going to hang around in that football game. I really do. I think this is kind of teed up for exactly the situation that Mel Tucker likes. He kind of likes being the underdog. He's a little bit right now, like kind of like a Big Ten Mark Stoops in a certain way. Like he sort of feels like he's at his best when people are doubting him. And we've kind of written off Michigan State. They're a 3-score underdog in this football game. Everybody's patting Ohio State on the back, saying, "Oh yeah, they're playing as well as maybe 2 or 3 teams, outside of maybe Georgia, and probably just Georgia's the only team in the country playing better than Ohio State right now." I think Michigan State hangs around. I think Kenneth Walker has himself a big game. I think he puts some pressure on this defense, and we're kind of left wondering, man, how elite is Ohio State? Because I don't really think that beating Purdue shows that you're an elite team. I think it just shows you, hey, you still have a lot of talent. You're capable of looking like this on a given Saturday.
All right, last thing. Let's go full circle. We started with the firing of Justin Fuente. Is there any other big name out there right now still coaching, getting ready for the final few games, that you think will lose his job?
Oh, man, gosh, that's a great question. I would have told you Miami Manny Diaz, and their athletic director is out.
Yep.
But that chances are that now means we're going to give him another year, and we're going to let the new AD come in and kind of figure some things out, and everybody will kind of know Manny Diaz is on the hot seat, although, geez, what a loss to Florida State that was. But I would probably say no at this point. With the you know what? I take that back. Florida, Dan Mullen. It's gone from bad to worse. I think in Gainesville, everybody's ready for a change. I think he has only hurt himself with the way that he has come across, the optics. Just a guy who doesn't get it, has repeatedly shot himself in the foot in these post-game press conferences, or even dancing after allowing 52 points to a 4-5 FCS team. I think Florida is the only other job that I think big time that we would say would come open. There will probably be at least a couple other Power 5 jobs, but man, at this point, it's 12, 13 FBS jobs that are already
12
that are already going through a change. I mean, that's crazy.
The state of Florida, the big programs in the state of Florida, we could see a lot of all new coaches in the next couple of years if things don't get turned around at those.
Yeah, it's been rough. And by the way, you're talking about Missouri and Florida State to end for Florida. And even though Florida State's a rival, they haven't been good this year. Missouri's been average. You lose those games, I think 100% he's gone. If you lose one of those two, I think there's a good chance. So you may end up being right when it's all said and done. Just unbelievable, because I thought it would really work at Florida for Dan Mullen, but we'll see how it turns out. Of course, make sure to follow Connor on Twitter at CJ O'Gara, as he's always breaking stuff, and he's reacting to things, and you want to follow him because he's a terrific follow. And then, of course, read all his great stories at Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. Listen to him each and every Monday, or Tuesday, rather, right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Connor, as always, thank you so much. I'm sure it will be a very newsworthy rest of the week.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Take care.
This hour of our program is brought to you by Action 24/7, the local sportsbook in the state of Tennessee, the only one owned and operated by Tennesseans, and they like to give you folks here a lot of free money right up front. They'll give you free money with your first deposit. They match your first deposit up to $400. Use promo code WHBQ100. And again, that first deposit will be matched 100% up to $400. All capitals on the WHBQ as far as that is concerned as well. Plus, they always are they do special odds boosts and other things around the local teams, including the Grizzlies and Tigers and, of course, Nashville teams, anything within the state. They like to do some special stuff with that, and they like to give away some free bets as well. Check it out. Always go to their promotions page when you're on the website at action247.com or on the app. They've got a promotions page, let you know what they've got going on, and the Actions, which is their odds boost on a daily basis, so you can check it all out. Plus, they have a bit of the ability to do cash deposits and withdrawals at locations throughout the state, including some here in the Memphis area. Again, go to action247.com, download the app to your phone, and start betting local with Action 24/7.
All right, got a little more coaching news from the college football ranks when we return. Plus, we'll give you the topic for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world at sports56whbq.com or on the Sports 56 app.
Hey, congratulations on the new time slot.
Thanks, and congratulations to you for, let's say, doing commercials for Central Barbecue.
That was very diplomatic.
Hey, doing commercials for Central Barbecue is nothing to sneeze at. You get to tell everyone about the best slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue there is, plus all the other great things at Central Barbecue, like the ribs and the smoked chicken wings and the great bologna sandwich. You get to tell them about those things.
Actually, you just did. You just did the one job I had to do today.
I mean, I didn't mean to.
Fine. You get the new time slot, and you get to tell everyone about Central Barbecue.
Family Leisure has done it again, and just in time for the holidays, they have the ultimate game room sale. From pool tables to theater seating, Family Leisure has you covered. If you like pool, or you like shuffleboard, or you like air hockey, there's a special price, and your friends will love coming over to your house if you want to watch the big game, or you want to watch a movie on Netflix or HBO. You can't get more comfortable than you will be in that beautiful theater seating that Family Leisure has, and it's on sale with the Ultimate Game Room Sale. Free delivery, by the way, on all in-stock items. 20% off on all game room accessories. Hey, beat the Christmas rush and get your game ready right now. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road. They want to make the holiday special at your house this year with the Ultimate Game Room Sale from Family Leisure.
Get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike for your 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. Just $349 a month. And get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Run, don't walk to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Stock of NZO 33,599, MSRP 29,345, 84 at 4.9% APR, 3,000 down, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2021, dealer stock only.
Push the limits of what's possible in the all-new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. With a bold exterior and premium interior, Outlander reimagines the SUV. Rule the road with Mitsubishi Super all-wheel control and wireless smartphone technology. Plus, an industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Drive one today, starting at $31,702 at Gossett Mitsubishi. Get Thunderstruck.
Super all-wheel controls an available feature on all trim levels. Price based on an SEC UV. Important restrictions and rules apply. See retailer for limited warranty and more details. Offer ends 12/13/21.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
They say this game can take you far. Your moves can take you further. Make moves that start movements.
Hennessy, spirit of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Good morning. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. If you've not heard and are just tuning in, Justin Fuente out as Virginia Tech's head football coach. The Grizzlies rolled over the Rockets last night, 136-102. And in the NFL, the 49ers all over the Rams, 31-10. Also yesterday, congratulations, as Imani Bates was named the American Conference Freshman of the Week. I have a feeling that the Tigers are going to do pretty well with Freshman of the Week honors with each passing week with Jalen Dern and Imani Bates. But Bates gets it for this past week. Tigers tonight will host St. Louis at FedEx Forum. 7 o'clock tip, or just after 7. Tigers 2-0. St. Louis is 3-0. So a little bit more. Oh, go ahead, Eli.
A couple of texts here on the Justin Fuente firing. On the AutoZone text line. Ron texts, he says, sports. Get fired, get a $10 million payment. Yeah, it's college football coaching is a good gig. There's no doubt.
Yeah, if you're a
fired head coaches in college football are doing very well.
If you're a big-time collegiate coach or professional coach or a professional athlete, especially in the big four sports, pays off. Yeah, if you have that talent, it pays off.
And when Connor said, "What do you do when you get fired at 7:30 in the morning?" Well, it's easy to go back to sleep when you know you got a $10 million payment coming. You just roll over and go, you know what? That's fine. $10 million is coming my way. I think we'll be all right. Drew texts in. He says, Fuente would be a good fit at SMU if Dykes leaves. Yeah, well, obviously, Fuente, I mean, and again, I don't know what the thoughts on him are and whether he'll get another job, but he came, of course, to Memphis from TCU. That job is open right now. SMU being in that same area where he has spent time and certainly would have some connections, and in a conference where he had success when he was at Memphis. Yeah, I mean those would be possibilities, I guess, if he's going to get right back into it, and gets another head coaching job. I don't know what the thought is on Justin Fuente out there amongst those things. But certainly for a place like SMU, I think you could certainly take a look at him.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that he lands a job, maybe not right away, but in one of the Group of 5 conferences and not in one of the Power 5 conferences. I mean, there's a possibility TCU would be interested, but I would think the better chances would be one of the other schools from the Group of 5 that have an opening or will have an opening.
Yeah, if Dykes leaves, and there's a lot of thought that that Dykes would be the one going to TCU. So if that were to happen, I could certainly see that as a possibility at SMU for Justin Fuente.
One guy coaching in Texas who says he is not leaving is Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Very adamant about staying. He said, with my unbelievable recruiting class, I'm thinking it could end up being the best recruiting class for 2022. Says, I'd be the dumbest human being to leave Texas A&M for the LSU job. So he came out and said that. Now, he also said, do you think coaches lie? Yeah, they lie all the time. So it's not unfathomable that he could leave for LSU. But I'm kind of with him. I mean, with that recruiting class, last year they were close to the postseason as far as the playoff is concerned. And this year, obviously that loss to Ole Miss derails them. But they had the quarterback issues after losing Kellen Mond to graduation and then the injury to, was it King? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
It was the starter coming in. Calzada is an average quarterback. Yeah, I think Jimbo stays put. But LSU.
I don't think he's leaving, but to say you would be the dumbest human being or whatever, no, that would not be true at all.
Well,
because you could make a great case for leaving Texas A&M for LSU. You could make a great case for leaving anywhere for LSU.
But that statement comes back to haunt you if you leave if you even care about reputation. That you've made this statement that you would have to be the dumbest human being to leave. If you leave, then that always comes back to haunt you. I like what Mike Tomlin did when they brought up his name for the college opening at USC, and he said, "I'm not." What did he say? No. I mean, he basically just shut it down right there. End of story. Moving on. We're talking about my job as the Steelers head coach. But college coaches, they kind of beat around the bush an awful lot. So that's what Jimbo had to say. Lane Kiffin, who is doing a bang-up job at Ole Miss, that name will still continue to register with people that it makes sense for LSU to go after a guy like him. And now you wonder, with that big win over Texas A&M, will that start to heat up? And what can Ole Miss do financially? Because he is headed for a big raise. But what can they do to even compete? Or can they compete? And is it all about money? No, money's important. But we always talk about how great that LSU job is. I'm not saying that Lane Kiffin is going to be offered or would even take it, but I think that name will start to heat up even more as we get closer towards the end of the season. New Day Overhead Doors, one of our great sponsors. I'm telling you, folks, sooner or later, that garage door isn't going to open. There's going to be an issue, and you need to call people who know what they're doing and get a reasonable price from them to do the work, and that is New Day Overhead Doors. They have fixed both sides of my garage door, and they've done it cheaply, and they've done it incredibly quick. In fact, the first time we looked them up, there was no affiliation with the station. Called them up. They came over in about 20 minutes. I'm not saying they're always going to be able to get over to your house in 20 minutes, but they just happened to have an opening on their schedule. Came over, fixed the door. It was fantastic. Working perfect. Then the other side went down in September. Called them again because they did such a great job. Fixed it. That's working swimmingly as well now. And then all of a sudden, I had a conversation going with John. John decided to come on as a sponsor. So again, I used them before they came on as a sponsor. It's New Day Overhead Doors, and they are your one-stop shop for all your garage door and garage door opener maintenance needs. These guys are true professionals. New Day will beat their major competitors' prices, sometimes by half the price. 30 years experience, honest, dependable, family-owned business. Don't ignore those strange noises your garage door may be making. It's New Day Overhead Doors for a simple repair or new garage door opener system. To schedule your appointment, call 901-351-5177. That's 901-351-5177. Ask for John. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's New Day Overhead Doors. Hour 2, Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli is on the way right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new, latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned? How about a safety inspection? Right now, Conway Service is offering our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $69. That's right, for only $69, we'll come out and perform our 16-point Energy Saving Super Tune-Up on your heating system. Plus, we'll also include a complete safety inspection with our state-of-the-art camera system, making sure your heating system is safe to operate this winter. Plus, we'll include a carbon monoxide test on your heating system, all for only $69. You can have the peace of mind knowing your heating system is safe and ready for those cold winter nights. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And call this week and ask for the early bird special, and we'll perform your heating system tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Want to sleep better, manage pain, ease anxiety, or just feel better? Have you tried hemp? Hemp 2.0 is locally owned and operated, full-service retail hemp CBD Delta 8 store in Collierville. Hemp 2.0 carries only the best and latest lines of CBD and hemp products with over 100 different brands to choose from to meet all your needs. Whether you want to combat pain and inflammation, sleepless nights, arthritis, pain, stress, Hemp 2.0 has something to improve your overall health and well-being. Hemp 2.0 also carries Delta 8 and federally legal Delta 9 that gives you an unbeatable, uplifting feel. Have questions? Come by Hemp 2.0, 3670 South Houston Levee Road, and meet with their knowledgeable staff, or visit their website, shophemp20.com. At Hemp 2.0, they provide a high-quality range of the best CBD and Delta 8 products, including edibles, topicals, tinctures, vape, and skincare. Experience the finest all-natural products at Hemp 2.0 today. 3670 South Houston Levee Road in Collierville, Hemp 2.0.
In times of fear, World Vision is there for the most vulnerable. For the last 70 years, we've been standing with kids and families through natural disasters, war, and disease, delivering life-saving aid and helping rebuild lives. And with every act of courage, faith, and love, we do more than just stop the spread of fear. We replace it with hope. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
So we still working an accident on I-55 North at Shelby Drive. The two center lanes are still blocked. Also, accident on Highland Street at Summer Avenue as well. New accidents on the roadways this morning. Highway 64 at Houston Levee. And then we're working an accident on Airways at Democrat. That's Highway 64 at Houston Levee Road and Airways Boulevard at Democrat Road. Keep it right here. Hour number 2. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Rise and shine, baby cakes. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings. If you've been with us since hour 1, thank you very much. It is hour 2 of the program. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd on this glorious Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. It's 8:05 and it's 61 degrees already. It's getting up to 75 today. Mostly sunny skies, a little bit of clouds later in the day, but should be an outstanding Tuesday. Second hour of the program brought to you each and every day by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Call them at 901-767-9648. The holidays are rapidly approaching, and who wouldn't love a little bit of jewelry over the holidays, right? What a gift. Open up that beautiful watch or ring or bracelet. And how about an engagement ring? A lot of people get engaged over the holidays. They are your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters. They are full-service jewelers with 2-bench jewelers ready to serve you. They have all types of estate and vintage jewelry, and they're always adding more. It's a great place to go visit. Just look around. Talk to James. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. They've been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners in that same East Memphis location for a quarter century. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. We have Humdinger's Trivia coming up in just a moment. But Eli, I forgot to do this at the end of hour 1. I needed to ask you what our topic is going to be for tomorrow's 5 favorite things.
All right, for tomorrow, something where we've talked a lot about today and here recently. Your 5 favorite. This doesn't mean best or whatever. You can do whatever you want. It's your favorite. Mm-hmm. Your 5 favorite college football coaches of all time.
Ooh, I like it. College football coaches, your 5 favorite. Got it.
You can, for whatever reason you like a guy, and he's your favorite, you can, whatever your criteria is. Could be he's very entertaining, could be he's a great coach. Whatever it might be. Your 5 favorite college football coaches of all time for tomorrow.
And that's brought to you by Auto Universe Germantown, the original hot dog factory in Spice Wing, Air Doctors of Memphis, and Bartlett Small Engines.
It is time for Humdinger's Trivia. It's an opportunity for somebody out there. Somebody will win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. Fantastic place over at Poplar and Massey. Tuesday is a great day to go by Humdinger's because it's Taco Tuesday with their $2 chicken or fish tacos all day long that you can enjoy at Humdinger's every single Tuesday. And if you're not in the mood for tacos, or if it's not Tuesday, well, listen, they got plenty of great options on the menu from all the grilled fish options that they've got. So there's salads and sandwiches, wonderful sides. They've got great salads as well. A little side salad. That's my go-to is my 2 tacos with the side salad. Maybe a little rice once in a while. You can throw in there as well. Over at Humdinger's. It's at Poplar and Massey. That's where you'll find them. You can go to humdingersrestaurant.com and check out the entire menu there. If you've got an event you need catered, maybe a little holiday party coming up, talk to the folks at Humdinger's. They will be happy to take care of that for you. If you are the first one with the correct answer to today's trivia question, you'll get that $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. And you can answer via text on the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. That is the number to text your answer into. You only get one guess, and I'll see if you guess multiple times, so you're not going to fool us. And if you've won in the last 30 days, you are not eligible, and I can also see that as well. So don't try and sneak one by us there. Here is the question for today. With the Tigers taking on the Billikens of St. Louis University tonight. We talked earlier, they've been in conferences together for many years, but it's been a while. Who was the Tigers' leading scorer the last time they beat St. Louis University? Who was the Tigers' leading scorer in the game the last time that the Tigers beat St. Louis University in basketball? Again, 901-360-8255. Text in your answers. First correct answer will get that $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. Who was the Tigers' leading scorer in the game the last time that they beat the St. Louis University Billikens in basketball?
See, I thought you were going to go with the first one to tell us what is a Billiken.
Nobody really knows what a Billiken is, I don't think. So
isn't it like a ghost or something?
No, it's like a mythical thing. It's like half of one thing, half of another. They put it on their notes.
Yeah, it's not a real thing at all. That's for sure.
Right. It's like a mythical thing, but they describe it in their game notes. But something I probably will not bring up. Maybe we'll bring it up tonight on the broadcast, but probably not. Major League Baseball postseason awards have started, and yesterday, the American League Rookie of the Year. Did they announce the National League Rookie of the Year, too?
Yes.
I didn't even see that. Who won the National League Rookie of the Year?
Jonathan India from the Reds.
Okay. And he was the favorite, I think, to win.
Yeah, Dylan Carlson of the Cardinals was third in that. Patrick Wisdom was fourth.
Patrick Wisdom, friend of the show, who a miraculous turnaround from a guy who was, I think, ended up being let go by the Redbirds, and then he ended up at one point, didn't he end up in Oakland, or am I thinking of, maybe I'm thinking of Piscotty, but he ends up with the Cubs eventually and has a great year, and he is the nicest guy you'll ever meet is Patrick Wisdom, so I'm very, very happy for him. But speaking of Redbirds, in the American League, also the favorite to win the American League Rookie of the Year is the former Redbird, Randy Arozarena, who had a tremendous year for Tampa. 20 home runs, 20 steals. The 2020 club, 815 OPS. He had one error out in the outfield in 119 games. But here's the weird thing. Arozarena was the 2020 ALCS Most Valuable Player. It's just strange that one year you're the ALCS and the next year you're the Rookie of the Year. But that's the rules. He didn't play in that many games or have the amount of at-bats you have to qualify as playing that year. So he was under the threshold, so it did not count. And then this year gets to be his rookie year in Major League Baseball, although he's had all that experience and all that success. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, if you do not have 130 at bats or 50 innings pitched at the Major League Baseball level, then you are still considered a rookie. Or it could also be, you could lose your rookie status if you've had 45 total days on an active roster prior to September 1st as well. But Rosarena did not qualify under any of those things, so he was still a rookie for this year. But yeah, it is a little weird when somebody has won a postseason award already and then they win a Rookie of the Year the following season.
It's very, very strange. I don't know why that prompted me to bring up this, but it just reminded me that I thought this was also strange when Penny announced that Jonathan Lawson and Sam Onu are being redshirted. We asked Penny, well, how many games can they play in while keeping the red shirt? He said 0. So they changed the college football rules not that long ago where you can play in 4 games and keep your red shirt. But in basketball, if you play 1 game, you lose your red shirt.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't know why that rule is different for basketball than it is for football. That doesn't make any sense really to me. I had assumed it was kind of a similar thing that 4 games in football is basically a third of your season, third of the regular season. So I assumed in basketball it was probably you could play 9 or 10 games and still redshirt. That doesn't make sense to me why they would have that different for basketball than they have for football.
Exactly.
And I guess it must be for pretty much every other sport other than football.
There's some news involving a couple of Duke basketball players, including their stud, Banchero. According to reports, these 2 players, one, the grandson of Mike Krzyzewski, they were arrested early Sunday morning, and Michael Savarino, the grandson, was charged with driving while impaired, and Banchero is charged with aiding and abetting DWI. The North Carolina Highway Patrol made the arrests in Orange County. So there's an Orange County, North Carolina, as well as an Orange County, Florida, Orange County, California. But anyway, Coach K in his final year said we are reviewing a legal matter involving 2 members of the men's basketball team. Any further actions as a result of this situation will ultimately be determined by the vice president / director of athletics and university officials. Savarino has a court date on December 9th on his DWI charge. Banchero, who just turned 19 last Friday, has a December 8th court date.
Ouch. Good.
Ouch, Coach K's grandson, for goodness sakes. He's probably like a mop-up guy at the end of the bench, and he's out there with the star Banchero. I shouldn't say that because I don't know. Maybe he's a good player, but wow.
He got elevated to a scholarship player this past offseason from a walk-on.
Well, there's that. So that's good for him, but DUI is not good for him. And Banchero driving along. I got to be honest with you. I did not know that there was you can be arrested for like abetting by not stopping the dude from driving while under the influence.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. It may have been something where he tried to claim he was the driver, or may have tried. Maybe he picked him up or something and took him somewhere. I don't know. I don't know
why he would do that.
To avoid the guy getting a DUI. That's why you do that.
you're saying that you think there's the possibility that Banchero could have been the one driving drunk and that the kid jumped in?
No, Banchero is aiding and abetting, so he did something obviously to try and prevent the other guy from getting a DUI.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why would you do that? You are Banchero, man. You're going to be playing.
Because he's your friend. Like, you're trying to help the kid out.
Come on, man. Come on, big picture. You're the NBA guy, not Krzyzewski's grandson.
And your career's not going to end by aiding, like helping your friend not get a DUI. Like, it's not like they're going to banish you from sports. Like, you're going to be just fine.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that the 19-year-old's in that position.
I'm going to guess NBA teams aren't going to care that he got an aiding and abetting a DUI when they draft. He'll still be either 1 or 2.
I know. Look, you're exactly right. But still, you don't want that on your record. You don't want to have that. I don't know. Maybe he did. That's some friend for a guy that hasn't been at Duke for that long. But that would be something. I don't know. Maybe that happens a lot, but I can't imagine. But that's interesting, and a story that involves one of the biggest names in college basketball. And speaking of big names, Imani Bates Jalen Duren back on the hardwood tonight as Memphis will take on St. Louis University. So far through 2 games against mediocre competition, I mean, you like what you're seeing. Obviously, the turnover numbers are high, and Penny wants those numbers to go down. And defensively, which they played so well last year, didn't get off to a good start against Tennessee Tech, did play extremely well against North Carolina Central defensively, as they're still trying to integrate a bunch of players and new combinations and things. But so far through the 2 games, you got to like what you're seeing, right?
Yeah, it's been as advertised so far, especially with Bates and Duren. I mean, they're showing that they are dominant players. You know, and you think that 2 guys who are as young as they are, I mean, still 2 guys who reclassified, could be seniors in high school right now. You think, okay, can there be maybe a little bit of despite being extremely talented, can there be a little bit of a learning curve, and maybe it won't click right away. Now, again, it has not been against very good competition, so we'll still see what happens when they go against the Tennessees and Alabamas and Ole Miss and some of the better teams on the schedule. But through 2 games, they have looked exactly as you would have guessed they could look. Duren is a man amongst boys. Had the double-double last game. He's blocking shots. He's doing everything you'd ask. And then Amani Bates looks extremely comfortable with handling the ball, shooting, doing whatever you're asking him to do. It's been everything you could have expected, I think, so far. But again, we'll see what happens as they get into the better competition.
I mentioned this earlier. Memphis moving into the 11th spot in the AP men's basketball poll, but Illinois lost yesterday. So if Memphis wins their games this week, tonight against St. Louis and then Friday against Western Kentucky, they're going to more than likely move into the top 10. Gonzaga, by the way, number 1 with 55 first-place votes. UCLA with 6 first-place votes are number 2. Then Kansas, Michigan, Villanova, Purdue, Duke, Texas, Baylor, the aforementioned Illinois. Kentucky is 13th, Alabama 14th, Houston is 15th, Arkansas is 16th, and Tennessee is 17th. Then Auburn 21st, and Florida comes in at 24th after knocking off Florida State, one of their rivals, in an upset win last week, over the weekend, I should say. Florida moving in at number 24. So you got the Memphis men in action tonight. You have the Grizzlies back in action on Thursday against the Clippers. Then the Tigers playing again on Friday, so it'll be a busy FedEx Forum this week. If you missed it last night, the Grizzlies took advantage of a very, let's just say, porous Rockets team. I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to go a little further with this. They are putrid. They are horrible. It's one of the worst teams I've seen in a long, long time. They are worse than last year's Houston team. They are that bad. It was almost the Keystone Cops watching them, especially in that first quarter, throw passes into the fourth row. I think they were like knocking vendors down. It was bad. And it was just what the doctor ordered for the Grizzlies as they rolled to a season-high 136 points. 14 of the 15 players who played in the game for the Grizzlies, I guess all the players that were dressed, scored in that game. Ja leading the way with 22, 6, and 6 in 25 minutes. Again, the Clippers coming on Thursday, a stiffer test, but really something the Grizzlies needed to get off the schneid.
Yeah, the Rockets, there's no doubt. They're so young. with John Wall not playing, you got Christian Wood, who's had some success in the league, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of young guys. They had all the draft picks this past year, and of course, Jalen Green, much expected of him, and he's off to a decent start this year, but certainly a long way to go. And then they got the Şengün and Josh Christopher and Garuba. They added a bunch of first-round draft picks to that team. That it's a very young nucleus that's going to take a lot of lumps here this year. It's going to be a rough year. Lots of losses for old Houston.
I often order the crab Şengün when I get Chinese takeout. It's absolutely delicious. NFL last night, it was the Rams losing to the 49ers 31-10. I didn't get a chance to watch much. I was at the Grizzlies game, but I've seen clips of the great guests that the Mannings brought in once again for the Manning cast, including Phil Mickelson, who was calling plays and getting them right. What does that say about your offensive coordinator when Phil Mickelson, from the comfort of his home, is calling out plays like Tony Romo does?
Yeah, Phil, I didn't see. I saw a little bit of Phil, just a very little bit of Phil. I watched the Manning cast more for the second half of the game. The first half I did not see much other than the very end of Phil Mickelson when he was breaking down Eli Manning's golf swing for him. Called it cute. It said it's a cute swing. I'm not even sure what that really means, but he said it's a cute swing.
I thought it looked pretty good.
But yeah, Phil. I'm sure Phil was extremely entertaining. I really wonder if they'll be able to pull Tiger before the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure they've tried. That would be a great get. Do you think this is something that will continue next season? It's such a hit. I mean, do you think they're going to want to do it again?
I'm sure ESPN will want them to, and will pay them a lot of money to do it. I don't whether they can get them to do it. I don't know. It's not for them to be able to do it. It's not like they got to go in studio, do anything like that. I mean, just doing it from home. I would think there would be a chance that, yeah, heck yeah, if you want to pay me a bunch of money to sit at home one night a week, watch football and talk about it, sure, why not?
Do we have a correct answer yet?
We do have a correct answer. We have a couple of correct answers, as a matter of fact, but there is one that was definitely the first as far as the correct answers go. The question today for Humdinger's Trivia was, who was the Tigers' leading scorer the last time they beat the St. Louis University Billikens? And, of course, keyword there, beat, because, yes, they did. We talked earlier. They played him in the NCAA tournament. And was it 2011?
I believe it was 11.
And but they did not win that game. In that game, Will Barton was the leading scorer. But, again, they didn't win it, so that one did not matter. So all you people that had Will Barton, that's incorrect. The leading scorer the last time they beat St. Louis, you got to go back to 2005 in the Conference USA tournament. And coming off the bench with 23 points in that game was the one and only Rodney Carney. So Rodney Carney was the correct answer. Jeremy Hunt just missed out. Jeremy Hunt had 22 points in that game. But Rodney Carney off the bench with 23 as the Tigers advanced in the Conference USA tournament over St. Louis University in 2005. And Rodney Carney, the correct answer.
Now, you worked in St. Louis for a while.
I did.
And I'm not sure if you did anything with the Billikens. I don't know their history, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn here. Is Larry Hughes the biggest name in St. Louis University basketball history?
Probably not, unless, there might be something.
Like some dude from the 30s or
way
something?
Back, but in recent history, Larry Hughes would be the biggest name, yes.
Okay.
I mean, when Larry Hughes was coming out of high school, like that was
it was big,
massive deal for them to land him. They got him. Well, they also it was Larry Hughes and Justin Tatum, who is Jason Tatum's dad.
Mm-hmm.
They came out together. They played at I believe they played at CBC, if I can remember correctly. But they were a tandem, and it was a big deal that St. Louis University got those guys. They also had. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to think of some of the other.
Oh, wait.
Really
they had, they had.
Erwin Claggett was a really good player at St. Louis University.
I don't know him. There's somebody I just thought of and I forgot already.
I'm trying to think. There's been another one. I can't remember if he was. Probably was post Larry Hughes, and I can't think of his name at all right now. They've had certainly some good players.
Sure.
Through the years, they haven't had a ton of guys who have gone on to NBA success. But no, I mean Larry Hughes was a massive deal when St. Louis University was able to land him as part of that recruiting class.
Folks, if you're looking for affordable luxury but don't want to pay new car prices, I got a place for you. It's called Auto Universe Germantown. And boy, do we need a place like this, especially when it's so hard to get the automobile that you want. It's Auto Universe Germantown, located at 7300 Winchester. It's where the old Mazda store used to be. It's right off 385. They used to be at Covington Pike, and they moved over to this new location. So I've been up and down their aisles. I've seen all these beautiful cars, trucks, and SUVs, just about every make and model you can think of. And these are pre-owned vehicles. They find them from around the country, only the top-tier luxury vehicles, usually vehicles that have been leased by somebody. And then they make sure that they are passing all their inspections, all their inspection points, and they have a thorough inspection list that they go through. And the Carfax vehicle history reports on all these vehicles is available to you. But they only bring in these top-of-the-line vehicles with all the modern technology and something that you're going to save thousands of dollars on, because they have Mercedes and Lexus and Infiniti. They have Audi and Honda, Nissan, Jeep, Toyota, and Chevrolet. Just about every make and model, as I said, that you can think of, they have right there on the lot at Auto Universe Germantown. They're always bringing in new vehicles as well. So if you're looking for that vehicle, that luxury vehicle, but don't want to pay top dollar, go by Auto Universe Germantown. Just check them out. Go see Zach or Sonny. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, or go online to find out more about these great vehicles at eautouniverse.com. Family-owned and operated, affordable luxury. You'll love the no-haggle pricing. Plus, if your vehicle needs service, their department is top-notch with no wait times. They even have a collision center right there on the premises. Auto Universe Germantown is also the place to sell your vehicle and get top dollar. You're going to love this place. Take my word for it. 7300 Winchester, just off 385, and online at eautouniverse.com.
Anthony Bonner, another former St.
remember
Louis
him.
University guy. The guy I was trying to think of was Justin Love. He was right around the 2000 time. He was
I remember
a really
him.
good player there, too. Of course, former Memphis Grizzly, Willie Reed, also a former Billiken as well. But Larry Hughes would be the biggest name, certainly, from there.
All right, we need to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll get back into something we talked about yesterday. It was a pretty hot topic. The Memphis Tigers football team, as they get set to take on Houston this Friday, still need to win a game to get to 6 as far as eligibility is concerned. Some of you folks, we didn't get a chance to get all your calls in. If you want to comment on that, we will do that. Justin Fuente, the former Tiger head coach who really started this recent run for Tigers football, fired as the head coach of Virginia Tech. But we'd love to hear from you on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. AutoZone text line, same number, 901-360-8255. Then at 9:05, Jeff Crane joins us, University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director. At 9:25, we'll talk Tigers in St. Louis with Cody Toppert, Tigers assistant basketball coach. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, this is Anthony Sane. Peter Edmonston and I have moved. Instead of Sports 56 Mornings, you can now join us every afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. for the all-new Sports 56 Grind Time, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Family Leisure has done it again, and just in time for the holidays, they have the ultimate game room sale. From pool tables to theater seating, Family Leisure has you covered. If you like pool, or you like shuffleboard, or you like air hockey, there's a special price, and your friends will love coming over to your house. If you want to watch the big game, or you want to watch a movie on Netflix or HBO, you can't get more comfortable than you will be in that beautiful theater seating that Family Leisure has, and it's on sale with the Ultimate Game Room Sale. Free delivery, by the way, on all in-stock items. 20% off on all game room accessories. Hey, beat the Christmas rush and get your game ready right now. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road. They want to make the holiday special at your house this year with the Ultimate Game Room Sale from Family Leisure. Let me tell you about the coolest place you got to go check out. It is the Old Dominick Distillery, located right in the heart of downtown. Old Dominick offers full distillery tours, curated tastings, and craft cocktails. So whether you're stopping in for a refreshing drink while you're exploring downtown Memphis, or maybe you're finishing up a night out in style, the bar at Old Dominick Distillery offers up carefully crafted cocktails to suit everybody's taste in an elevated yet relaxed atmosphere. Pull up a stool at the bar and join Old Dominick mixologists for a cocktail made entirely with spirits produced under the watchful eye of master distiller Alex Castle. So whether you fancy an old-fashioned or maybe you want to try a flight of Old Dominick products, the expert mixologists at Old Dominick, they're ready to serve you. Visit OldDominick.com for bar hours, or maybe you want a 45-minute tour. Any way you look at it, you'll love Old Dominick.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Nothing tastes as good as free, like the free play you can gobble up at Southland Casino Racing. This November, win a slice of $75,000 in free play. That's 20 winners every Saturday, each getting up to $2,500 in free play. Earn entries daily. New members get 5 free entries. Be there on Saturdays to activate your entries and see if you win. Win your fill of free play all November long at Southland Casino. See Lucky North Club for details. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help, call 800-522-4700.
Sports 56 traffic.
We still working the accident on I-55 at Shelby Drive. The 2 center lanes are blocked. That's I-55 at Shelby Drive. Also, Highway 64 at Houston Levee and Airways at Democrat. We're working those accidents as well. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 8:34 the time. 63 degrees. On the way up to about 75. That's the predicted high. Mostly sunny. A little bit of clouds later today. But for Tuesday, November 16th, we'll take it. Absolutely. Got Jeff Crane, Cody Toppert coming up in hour number 3. Right now, though, as promised, I want to talk some more Tigers football. We got into it a lot yesterday. I want to give you a chance at 360-8255. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener lines or the AutoZone text line. Same number again, 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone, and continue that conversation from yesterday. Matt has joined us. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing great, thanks.
Yeah, that loss to East Carolina was pretty tough. I was on social media, and a lot of people aren't too happy with Silverfield. The question I have for you guys is, if Silverfield doesn't win out, where do you think that puts them at in contention for next year? Do you think they keep him? Do you think they fire him? I'd just like to know what you guys think.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you for the phone call. Really appreciate that. The other thing, too, is I wonder – look, we'd all be singing a different tune, right, yesterday if they had made the 2-point conversion, right? It wouldn't even be a conversation piece yesterday other than look at the cojones on Ryan Silverfield. So I was talking to a lot of people last night at the Grizzlies game about this. And yeah, there are a couple of concerns, certainly, especially the way he responded afterwards about the kicking. And the kicking has been a problem, but yet he was going to send the kicker out there for the extra point. And then just after the timeout was called, I think just got a little bit too anxious to win it right there. But then again, the running game has been struggling, although Dree Clark had just scored the touchdown. So you can kind of counter everything that Ryan said, but Ryan's the one who's paid to make those decisions. And I didn't like the play call, but I did not have any problems with going for the 2. But to answer the question, I don't think if people are wondering whether or not he's in trouble with his job, I don't think he is, and I know there's some people that think he should be, but I don't think that will happen. They win 5 games, don't go to a bowl game. It's going to put some heat on him for next year. I like Ryan. I think he's a very good football guy, but they got to produce, and they've had – look, there's built-in excuses, and he comes on the show all the time and doesn't make those excuses, but there are some. Certainly that offensive line being banged up the way they've been all season long has not helped, but the running game the last – couple years has not been what we're accustomed to seeing in Memphis. Now, could there be some changes with the staff? I think that's a possibility, Eli. We talked about with Justin Fuente's firing today. 12 head coaching changes so far this season in FBS, right? But there's also other schools that have changed coaches, assistant coaches, coordinators, Florida being one that's most prominently in the news from a couple of weeks ago, making the changes that they did. So I would think right now, put a gun to my head, no matter how the season ends, I don't think there's going to be a coaching change, especially with a new president coming in. Not that, the president will make the call, the AD will make the call. But I would think that I would think that Ryan Silverfield is going to be back next year. But I'm not so certain that all the coaches will be.
Yeah, I know college football is a little weird these days, and coaches get fired all the time and all of that, but it would be quite something to fire a coach in his second year when the first year was a COVID year that was completely screwed up, and who's won games. Like it's not like they're going 2-10. Like they could end up 5-7, 6-6, whatever. Will it be a disappointing year? Yeah, certainly. If they either way, even if they win both these games, it'll still be a little bit disappointing because there's some like the loss to Temple again is an inexcusable loss. But he's not getting fired after this year. There's just no way you would do that. That would be ridiculous, quite frankly, to fire Ryan Silverfield after this year.
Look, they got a win over Mississippi State this year. They beat UCF, finally got that albatross off their back, winning that game. They won a bowl game last year. You're right. They had to deal with COVID. Of course, every program had to deal with COVID. So, yeah, I think he's a really good football mind. He's a gambler. I like that in my coach. I don't know if that suits everybody's fancy out there as far as having that coach that takes chances like that. You can argue both sides for going for it on Saturday. It did not work out. And like I said, I think everybody knows if they had been successful, we'd be singing a much different tune. But it doesn't mean that there couldn't be a move made on his staff. That's a possibility. But Ryan, I think, is fine. Look, there are schools out there that have the money to be able to make moves after one season and pay coaches with 2 or 3 years left on their contract. It happens all the time. But that's not Memphis. Larry Porter only lasted 2 years. And that's pretty much a quick hook for Memphis. Again, for some of these other schools, it's not crazy that a coach can lose a job in 1 year. But I don't think it's happening here, and especially when Ryan has had success. He's had success. He took over for Mike Norvell the COVID year. He's got now a couple of recruiting classes in. He's going to have to recruit his tail off, and they're having to get better players in here. They lost some quality players. They brought in some quality players with the transfer portal. Look, he brought in Seth Hennigan. Seth Hennigan has been a godsend. You can't calculate for all the injuries, but again, this is not foreign to Memphis. It happens with a lot of programs, and he will not use it as an excuse. And they're fighting every single game in which they've lost. They have fought to the bitter end. So it's not about effort, a lack of effort, or any kind of problems in the locker room. It's just injuries have mounted up and some of those players are they're not as good as maybe first thought. The running game is of utter concern. There's no question about it that we are used to seeing Darrell Henderson and Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson and Patrick Taylor and on and on and on. And I don't know if they have those guys right now on the roster. But again, I think Ryan, with some of the wins that he's already produced in a short period of time and worked here under Mike Norvell as a very good coach on the staff before being elevated to head coach when Mike left, I think it merits, at least another full season, if not more. So I have no problems with Ryan, but I do think if they don't get bowl eligible, it's a step backwards in a big way, and there could be a move with the coaching staff.
Text here on the AutoZone text line says, a good coach always goes for the win. I don't have a problem with it, but a good coach also has a play that has been practiced. Clearly he didn't. Well, I mean, it's not like they ran a play that they just made up. They didn't draw that up on the sideline like in the dirt and go, oh, yeah, let's try this thing. I don't know. It seems like this might work. I mean, it's clearly they're not running plays that they haven't practiced.
Look, the 2-point conversion, there's a higher percentage that it will fail than it will be successful. and you just have to do a better job executing it. They did not, but that's more credit to East Carolina and the way they defended it. So, yes, this is not a play, like you said, that during the timeout they drew it up in the dirt. They worked on this sucker. That's probably the play you would have seen after the second overtime, or in the second overtime, if they had scored the touchdown. You got to go for 2. That's probably the play you would have seen at that point.
Another one says he ain't scared of going for it on 4th down, but scared of extra point to tie game. Those don't add up. Actually, they actually add up perfectly. It's always showing faith in your offense rather than special teams. He goes for it on 4th down a lot of times because he doesn't trust field goal kicker. He went for the 2-point conversion because he doesn't trust his field goal kicker.
Well, remember,
they're actually going for it on 4th down and going for the 2-point conversion are essentially the same thing. So they actually add up perfectly.
Yeah, and remember, they missed the extra point earlier in the game. So there's a 1-point difference right there as opposed to being tied. But it's been a problem. It's been a major issue, the kicking game. And we're so not used to it at Memphis. We're so used to having dependable, not only dependable, but stud kickers. Obviously, when you look around the NFL and you see what's happened with Jake Elliott and Steven Gostkowski. Riley Patterson, I think, maybe on the Patriots practice squad, if I'm not mistaken, or you got to look from another team. He still has a chance to make it one day. They've had great kickers. Go back to Joe Allison, the Groza winner in the 90s. But this has been an absolute disaster. So you lose the confidence in the kicker.
Somebody says need to fix the offensive line and get a new OC.
Well, the offensive line has been a problem, but injuries have been a big reason. Which I Gabe right now to ask him about that, because obviously being a former Tiger offensive lineman, he knows exactly what the deal is. But they have been banged up all season long. And Ryan is obviously that's an area that he is very much impactful as being a former offensive line coach. He knows what those issues are. But this is, I think, more personnel than scheme.
Somebody says there's all this chatter that Freeze would come here. I love it, but I don't see it possible. No way Silverfield gets canned, even if they lose out. Fans are out of touch with reality if they think otherwise. Yeah, he's not getting fired. There's no way he's getting fired after this year. It'd be
not a chance.
It'd be ridiculous. Again, unless it was a complete disaster or other off the field things. Firing any coach who is in her second year right now when the first year was the COVID year, that's ridiculous to try and – because last year basically should even count in trying to judge a coach in his first year at a program.
And
it's impossible.
And they went 8-5.
It's not like recruit. You couldn't do anything. You had no spring football before your first season. Last year for a first-year head coach was impossible.
Yeah, they went 8-5, and they beat UCF, and they won a bowl game and stopped the bowl streak. So I thought it was a pretty darn good year, all things considered, for Ryan last year. As far as the coordinators are concerned, look, that's his call. I like Kevin. I think he's done some good things. I've seen the offense at times open up. Then I've seen some times when it's been conservative. Mike McIntyre's defense has gotten better for a second straight year, has gotten better as the season has progressed. That means guys are learning, right? They're bought into it. Now, why they're not ready at the beginning of the year, I don't have an answer for that. But this is not a mutiny team. There's not problems that we know of in the locker room. That's when you start to question the leadership. Those things are not happening. These guys are bought in. They fight every game they lost, even those crappy losses to Temple. You fight to the very end. You fought to the end here against East Carolina. Of course, East Carolina ends up taking the lead. You come back and tie the game. They've always fought till the end. So, yes, it would be a step back, no question about it, if you end the bowl streak and can't get the 6 wins. And I still think they'll get the 6. I don't know about beating Houston Friday. They'll give it their best shot, but I think they should be able to win over Tulane and get the 6, and then they're back to a bowl game. So, no, there is not going to be a change at the top with this football program.
Our text says it looked like they did not work on it much, effectively at least. Here's the thing in football. Offense doesn't win every play. Sometimes the defense just defends the play.
It was a great defense of the play.
Like the defense, doesn't do what you expected. They give you a different look, and guys just guard, and nobody comes open. The offense doesn't win every play in football. Sometimes the defense wins the play, and there's and unfortunately the defense won a play here that was the play that decided the game. And the other thing I don't like, some people act like if he had kicked the extra point, number one, they assume he would have made the extra point, and number two, assume that meant that they were going to win the game. Right. They have no idea, even if he makes the extra point, what's going to happen in the next overtime. East Carolina was going to have the advantage in the next overtime because they were going to get to go second. But there's no guarantee at all that they score at all in the second overtime. Maybe East Carolina wins easily anyway.
If they kick the extra point, as you said, Memphis gets the ball first. If they score a touchdown, right, they could end up having to kick a field goal or get stopped completely. But if they scored a touchdown, the 2-point conversion try that you saw would have been the 2-point conversion try. I don't know if East Carolina would have done anything differently on defense, but it would have been that same play.
Moving is a stressful process for many folks out there, and I know what the housing market, as hot as it is right now, there's a lot of folks moving, and see trucks for Black Tie moving on the road seemingly every single day, because people know and people have heard what a great job Black Tie Moving does when they help you with your move, getting your stuff where it's going safely and securely. That's the number one thing you're looking for out of a moving company, but they do so much more than that at Black Tie Moving. That's why they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, 5-star ratings all over the place online. You can give them a call at 901-316-6196 or go to their website at blacktiemoving.com/Memphis, and they will talk to you, come up with what you're looking for out of them, come up with a plan that fits those needs and fits your budget as well, and you will get a no-obligation quote up front from Black Tie Moving. Plus your own moving concierge available to answer any questions that you've got during the entire process as well. Whether it's your home or office, whether it's across town, across country, wherever you're going, get the folks from Black Tie Moving on your side. Again, give them a call, 901-316-6196.
You are tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Christmas spirit is here at Hewlett & Dunn. Boots, casual boots, work boots, hiking boots, fancy boots, even safety toe boots. Lots of hats to choose from Whiskey Bent to Red Dirt Hat Company. Tremendous Christmas selections just arrived from Outback Trading Company, STS Ranch Wear, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps and pants. Tons of jeans from Area, Wrangler Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from OFO's orthopedic-approved shoes, boots of every size, every color, every skin. Just arrived from Santa, toy guns for the kids. And done from our family to your family since 1961. Merry Christmas.
At Louie's Deli and Meat Market in Arlington, you'll not only see the quality, you'll taste the quality in every bite. Got a tailgate party or a backyard get-together? Ask Louie's to make a deli meat and cheese tray. Score big with Louie's sausages and bratwurst. Handmade fresh in the store. No time to cook? Louie's now carries Oh Great, locally owned and made. Oh Great's take and bake foods include their famous chicken spaghetti, shepherd's pie, quiche, soups, desserts, breakfast foods, and more. Louie's Deli and Meat Market in Arlington, 11695 Highway 70, just a quarter mile east of Highway 385. Veteran owned, Louie's Deli and Meat Market. Quality you can see and taste.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
If you missed it from earlier in the show, we announced tomorrow's 5 favorite things topic will be your 5 favorite college football head coaches of all time. Your 5 favorite college football head coaches. From the world of Major League Baseball, if you missed it yesterday, former Red Sox left-hander Erod Eduardo Rodriguez signed with the Tigers. 5-year deal reportedly worth $77 million. He was 13-8 last season with a 4.7 ERA. He had missed all of 2020 because of myocarditis. Also, it's being reported now that the Angels are closing in on signing Thor, Noah Syndergaard. And I've always wondered why the Angels have never, well, not never, but most of the time have gone out and signed big-name position players and haven't addressed pitching enough. So you can get Syndergaard and he could stay healthy and maybe add another arm or two, keep Shohei Ohtani happy, and maybe the Angels can make a run for the postseason because they've never done a good job, in my opinion, of addressing the pitching.
It's a big risk with Thor, whether he can stay healthy or not. We shall see as far as that is concerned. I love this story from college football. Timmy Malinowski.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
Who he's a long snapper for Pittsburgh State. He is an automotive technology major. And on the way to their game at Fort Hays State this weekend, one of their buses broke down. So Malinowski fixed the bus for him and got him back on the road.
Does he get an automatic A in the class?
I mean, if there's not a name, image, likeness deal out there for this guy, I mean, goodness gracious, he's literally the team mechanic. Like, he's fixing buses on the way to the game. AutoZone, come on, step forward. Give this guy some name, image, likeness. I mean, that's some good stuff. That's a guy who you like to have around. Like, hey, every team should recruit a mechanic. Just have a mechanic on the hey, if you could play any position whatsoever, we need you around just in case we have an issue, especially at those small schools where you're busing everywhere. Mm-hmm. That is a handy guy to have around in your team. Just, hey, we broke down again. Go get Timmy. Timmy, get out there, fix this darn bus. Get us to the game.
See, if he was a baseball player, you'd say he's a 5-tool guy. Probably more than 5 tools.
If you're out there fixing buses.
Do you know the nickname of the school he plays for?
The Gorillas.
Yes, one of the great nicknames, I think, in collegiate sports, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas.
And it's Pittsburgh with no H.
And it's Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Yes.
Not Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
No H on the end of that Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is misspelled so much, though. They forget the H. I don't know if they're thinking about Kansas, but
I doubt people spelling Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania are thinking of Pittsburgh, Kansas. I'm going to go on a limb here and say they are not thinking of Pittsburgh, Kansas when spelling Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
More than likely not, but they're just misspelling it for whatever the reason is. Lawn Solutions, LAWN, pretty easy. Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. Brandon Holly is the owner of this company, family-owned and operated, and he's got a team of professionals that can take care of your lawn. All you need to do is go to their website at lawnsolutionsinc.net or give them a call at 901-867-5626, 901-867-5626. You can fill out an estimate online. Yes, I know we're getting closer to winter, although you wouldn't know it with today's high at 75 degrees. But the fact is that they take care of your lawn all year long. This is not a lawn mowing service. What they do is they control the germination of weeds 12 months a year. They're applying pre-emergence during the winter months and post-emergence during the summer months to make sure that when spring is sprung, those weeds aren't sprung. They can take care of any disease your lawn has or any insect infestation. Let Lawn Solutions take care of your lawn all year long. Again, give them a call. Call Brandon. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. 901-867-5626. 901-867-5626. Or go online, fill out an estimate at LawnSolutionsInc.net. Coming up in hour number 3, we'll be busy talking plenty of University of Memphis athletics. We'll kick things off with Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy AD, to start hour 3. And then at 9:25 or thereabouts, Cody Toppert will join us, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach. The Tigers tonight against the Billikens of St. Louis at FedEx Forum. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey, Jeff Allen, Randy here. It's time to party down and get happy over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
That's right, Randy, and we'll make you happy with the 41 MPG 2022 Kia Forte, $189 a month. 36-month lease, just $29.99 due at signing. Or a 2022 Kia Sportage LX, $199, 36-month lease.
Plus, don't forget 2022 Kia Sorento LX, you Gossett at $289, 36-month lease. And they're both only $34.99 due at signing.
Plus, you'll always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, must finance through Kia. Forte NE 415,838, MSRP 21,535, Sportage N 7011 110, MSRP 27,635, Sorento NGO 83,556, MSRP 29,215. Includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Kia, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
The holidays are fast approaching, so start on your list now at Mid-South Hobbies. E-Flight Airplanes, Athearn Trains. Mid-South Hobbies has a huge selection of cars, trucks, and boats from Arma, Losi, Axial 1/10 and 1/24 scale cars, trucks, and crawlers. Spectrum batteries and all accessories are here now. Santa shops local. Hope you do too. Make your holidays fun and exciting at Mid-South Hobbies. Open 7 days a week at 4862 Summer at Mendenhall. Call 901-682-9402 for more details and information. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Mid-South Hobbies.
Testing? Hey, can you hear me? You can? Well, if you enjoy hunting or shooting, how important is your hearing? If your kids hunt and shoot, how can you protect their hearing? Well, the guys at Tactical Guns and Gear in Collierville can get you set up with a silencer for your rifle, handgun, even your shotgun. I promise they'll get you on your way to a much more enjoyable shooting experience. They have more silencers in stock than you'll find anywhere, and so much more, all in one stop. Save your hearing while you still can. Tactical Guns and Gear, Highway 72 in Collierville. Can you hear me now?
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstals. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstals treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, we working an accident on Walnut Grove, east of I-240. That is right in front of Christian Brothers High School. That's Walnut Grove, east of I-240, right in front of Christian Brothers High School. It's stacking up towards the Briarview intersection, so just be mindful of traffic there. That's Walnut Grove, east of I-240, right in front of Christian Brothers High School. Did I say university? I might have said university, but it's the Christian Brothers High School there. Keep it right here, hour number 3. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple, that's what we're told.
Welcome back, everyone. Final hour for us today on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It is 64 degrees right now. Unbelievable. It's going to be 75 degrees today. Actually, they've upped it now. Could reach 77, and that's the same deal for tomorrow. And then drop back down at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, mid-50s for a high. So take advantage of this absolutely gorgeous weather. Right now, we're going to take advantage of our good friend Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy AD, who joins us each and every week. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. And when I say take advantage, Jeff, I mean, just having you on. We can ask you questions. We're not going to jump down your throat here and take advantage of you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much, guys. I'm out here enjoying this great weather myself, watching a little football practice.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. We're going to get to the football in just a moment, but I wanted to start off with women's soccer and congratulate Brooks Monaghan as the team gets an NCAA tournament win over LSU from the SEC on Sunday. Nice crowd on hand to watch a 3-0 win, and that will be a big challenge as they'll play the top seed Duke on the road. But boy, oh boy, nice win for the program.
Great opportunity for the university and for our athletics program, certainly our women's soccer program, to be able to host the NCAA tournament. That's an opportunity that we've made a play at in the past and haven't had that opportunity, but this year we did and took advantage of it in every way. And the team certainly used that home field advantage to their advantage with an awesome win, and terrific crowd. Was just was as good an atmosphere as I've ever been a part of at an athletics event. It was tremendous.
Well, Jeff, I'm just happy that you survived the busy week.
It was. I think we had 4 athletics events within about a 36-hour period. There, we were on the run for sure. We were working early mornings and late nights, but a lot of fun. Was overall a great weekend, and another busy week this week.
All right, so you're at football practice. Give us an injury update on all the players. Go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that, but I can tell you that it's amazing because our guys have just the energy level and the excitement around our practices is the same as it's been in August. I mean, it's great to see these guys are still getting after it and working hard. And we have had quite a few injuries, as we know, but we're ready to go.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've had a lot of responses, as you can only imagine, since Saturday's loss to East Carolina. Some positive, a lot negative, and some people just are out of their minds, expecting certain things. But one thing about this program and I said it earlier in the show, is that win or lose, and look, you winning is what it's about. That's how coaches keep their jobs and things of that nature. But the team fights until the end, the way they came back to put themselves into position. It's happened all year long. They've won games. They had a big win over Mississippi State, but they've also had some losses against teams that you would hope that they would beat normally. But they've fought. So there's no mutiny in the locker room that we know of. There's no problems off the field. And when those things happen, you start to question leadership. And we're not seeing that with the Memphis Tigers.
No, not at all. You look at the culture of a program, and unfortunately, oftentimes the culture of a program is not readily seen on a football field on a Saturday, but those things are seen at practice, in a locker room, before or after games, in dining facilities. Those are the places you see culture, and these guys love each other. They love playing at the University of Memphis. They love this coaching staff, and they're not giving up because they have pride. They have pride in the work ethic that they put into this each and every day, and they're going out there to win. And we have no doubt that we're going to be in a position to do that on Friday night.
As far as they still got to get another win, but as far as bowl possibilities are concerned, do you have are those conversations or kind of ideas going around, like as you start looking at what the possibilities might be?
We've had some very preliminary conversations with the conference as it relates to some of those things, and really almost every bowl that the conference is affiliated with is still on the table. Still, amazing to think that when you have 2 games left to play, there's still a lot of football to play. So there's still some positioning that could still take place within the conference. So we're not really sure where that'll fall, but we're angling for that 7-win mark. So that's where our eye is at the moment.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. 7 wins, which would mean a win Friday night and would mean a win in the regular season finale against Tulane. Now, of course, if the Tigers are unable to upend a nationally ranked team Friday night in Houston, and the Tigers have already had some pretty good success against ranked teams, then it would come down to Tulane, and that's Thanksgiving weekend. Any idea of the numbers of tickets sold for that? Because, again, when you have the holidays, you have people that go on the road, they leave home to be with family. How's that looking? Because that could end up being a pivotal game for the Tigers this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at about 21,000 tickets sold at the moment for that game, and as we've talked about before and seen in the past, the week of the game in particular, the 3 to 4 days leading up to a game, are oftentimes where we see our most sales. So because we have a couple weeks here still before that game, we're optimistic that we'll get close to that 30,000 plus mark, especially when we win on Friday night. There'll be renewed excitement and really an opportunity to recognize these seniors. I think that's a big opportunity. You look at the successes that this senior class has had. It's miraculous to see what's occurred in this football program over the last 4 years. So looking forward to recognizing them on that Saturday night versus Tulane.
Yeah, and you said Saturday night because yesterday they did announce it will be a night game.
Yeah, we were excited about that, number one, because it's nationally televised on ESPNU, so anytime you get an opportunity to put our brand in front of the country, that's a really great thing. And for our fans, a lot of what we've heard is these 11 o'clock games, they can't get out there and tailgate quite early enough. So this will allow for a great atmosphere and folks to be able to spend the day out in Tiger Lane and experiencing the entire football experience.
Tonight, basketball in action down at FedEx Forum with St. Louis University. Coming up later this week is the deadline from the first vaccination mandate. Do you know, or have you had conversation with the Grizzlies? Is that going to come to an end on the 19th, or is it going to be extended?
We're still working through that. In fact, we have some meetings today with the Grizzlies to talk through some of that and what it may look like in the future. So we're taking all the guidance from the Shelby County Health Department and kind of where our particular situation is in the county and taking that into consideration. But everything is on the table still in that regard. So I would anticipate we'll have some more information on that in the next week.
As the Tigers football team gets ready for a trip to Houston, the men's basketball team in action both tonight and Friday night at home at FedEx Forum. The level of competition goes up a notch as they'll take on St. Louis, and then Friday, Western Kentucky. And then next week, it's off to New York City and Brooklyn, to be exact, in the Barclays Center for a tournament there, the preseason NIT. But the start has been fantastic. The response, I'm sure, has been fantastic, Jeff.
Yeah, it's so much excitement, and rightfully so, around our men's basketball program. And if folks have an opportunity to come out and watch, you will quickly see how special this team is, the depth of the team, and the superior talent that we have on this team is like nothing I've seen before, to be quite honest with you, in 20 years of college athletics. So this is really, I think we're in a season where folks don't want to miss this, and we really hope that we'll continue to fill the forum, and as our opponents start to ramp up, we're going to need every fan in there to help us continue this winning streak.
How are ticket sales for tonight? Because again, this is the best opponent so far, but it's also a Tuesday night.
Yeah, we should be in the 9,000 to 10,000 range for tonight's game. So it's been good. Our season ticket sales actually continue. We still have some season tickets available, a few sprinkled here and there in the lower level. We'll continue to sell those, but our opportunity is really in that terrace level of the forum, and that's where we want to get to a point where we can fill that up night in and night out. But we should have a solid 10,000 fans there tonight.
Do you think there's still some intrepidation from fans that are still concerned about the masks and the vaccine and all that has hurt overall total season ticket sales, even though they're going pretty well for you?
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of think about our world in so many ways, especially in sports and entertainment, shut down for the last year plus. And I do think that it's going to take some time for people to feel comfortable again, going in large crowds, and they also just became accustomed to watching games in different formats. They may be watching them on their television, they may be watching them on their phone or computer or iPad, and so we think it's going to take some time to get back to where we were. And this is something we're seeing as a trend across the country. This is not unique to Memphis for sure, but we are optimistic that in time we'll start to see full stadiums and full arenas again.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt people get comfortable, staying at home. They see the financial, a lot of people took financial hits during the COVID that they may not have as much money to spend on things like sports tickets, or they just realize, but hey, it's kind of nice having that money in that pocket, not spending it on that. So it's unfortunate for you guys because you got to find you're trying to sell tickets, but certainly I think coming out of this, nobody really knows for sure what the new normal as far as crowds are going to be.
No question about it. It's something that's evolving for sure. As we've seen over the last year, lots of things have changed. Many of those for the better, but they're challenging. Many of them are challenging, like this one. But the loyal core of the Memphis fan base in football and in basketball is there, and that gives us something we can build on as we go forward.
And there's also the great start for the women's basketball team under Katrina Merriweather. Renewed excitement with that program, off to a 2-0 start.
Yeah, so exciting. And we've had tremendous crowds there for those first two games, and we think that's just going to continue to build. And, to me, when you come to one of our women's basketball games, watch our bench, because from the first lady to go into the last one on the bench, the energy level, the excitement on that bench is infectious. Mm-hmm. And I think it shows you a lot about the culture of that program and where that program is headed. We've got some talent right now, and she's going to continue to bring great talent into that program. And we think our women's basketball program has a very high ceiling here. So we're really excited about that.
Well, Jeff, as always, we love having you on the program. We appreciate your time. He's Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director. Follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Catch him every Tuesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
And normally you throw out like a bench is infectious, and whoa, wait a minute. We don't want infectious. We don't want, and not in this day and age, but no, I know what he means, and he's absolutely right. There's just a new little giddy up in the step of everybody that's involved with the women's basketball program.
I had asked Coach Merriweather to take it easy on my alma mater. They beat him by 31. I guess that might be taking it easy on him. I'm not sure.
What was the line? Do you know?
There would be a line on that.
Yeah, there's somebody's got a line. There's always a line, baby, somewhere. But yeah, your old alma mater, little Edwardsville.
Yep.
You still there?
They took a working on Sunday.
Are you still their most memorable alum?
I am far from that.
Who's their biggest name alum? In any field.
Well, probably the most known person, but he doesn't go by the name that he went to at college, would be the Big Show. But
oh, really?
He didn't go by Big Show at college, and he didn't graduate from SIU either. But so
what did he do? Go there for a semester?
He was there for I think it was 1 year playing basketball.
Oh, he played basketball. Wow.
Yeah.
The Big Show. That's interesting. Turn every Tuesday into paydays with TNT Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Tuesday. Just bet a $10 or more same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. So tonight, I'm looking at the Utah-Philadelphia game. I'm going to take Utah on the money line, Donovan Mitchell to go for 30, and this one I'm taking a chance with Seth Curry, who's been really good. 4 threes for Seth Curry of the 76ers. It's the perfect way to turn a small bet into a big-time score by going with the same-game parlay. And win or lose, you're guaranteed to get $10 added to your account. Look, at FanDuel, it's easy to use. There's odds boosts and specials all the time. Same-game parlays, as we've talked about. Live betting as well. And when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. 2 hours. Get $10 back every Tuesday, win or lose, with TNT Tuesdays. If you're new to FanDuel, just sign up with promo code GASMAN to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 to make every moment more this NBA season. Again, that's promo code GASMAN exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Tigers and St. Louis University tonight on the hardwood of FedEx Forum. We'll talk to Cody Toppert, Tigers assistant basketball coach, when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We all agree that the steaks at 117 Prime, Memphis' premier downtown dining destination, are by far the best in town. Always cooked to perfection over an open flame by the steak experts. But there's so much more to Prime. Of course, there are the oysters from the Raw Bar, from the East Coast, the Gulf Coast, and the West Coast, available every day with house-made cocktail sauce, horseradish, and 2 different mignonettes. Maybe you're not a fan of raw oysters? Then try them served 3 different ways, including Oysters Rockefeller. If you deserve a truly special occasion, you deserve 117 Prime.
Family Leisure has done it again, and just in time for the holidays, they have the ultimate game room sale. From pool tables to theater seating, Family Leisure has you covered. If you like pool, or you like shuffleboard, or you like air hockey, there's a special price, and your friends will love coming over to your house if you want to watch the big game, or you want to watch a movie on Netflix or HBO. You can't get more comfortable than you will be in that beautiful theater seating that Family Leisure has, And it's on sale with the Ultimate Game Room Sale. Free delivery, by the way, on all in-stock items. 20% off on all game room accessories. Hey, beat the Christmas rush and get your game ready right now. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road. They want to make the holiday special at your house this year with the Ultimate Game Room Sale from Family Leisure.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute, pretend I don't live in it. Sunshine gonna wash my blues away.
Plenty of sunshine today. I cannot believe we're talking 75, 76, 77 today for a temperature. It is November 16th, for goodness sakes, but I love it. I hope you do as well. Take advantage of this absolutely beautiful weather.
So I just checked the Wikipedia page for SIUE. I still have not made the notable alumni.
Oh, come on, Eli.
I'm a little disappointed by that, but keep working. If I keep working hard,
go in there and edit it.
I'm actually I can't believe because Bill Land, the Spurs play-by-play voice, are a good friend of the show, who's actually in the SIUE Hall of Fame. He doesn't even get qualified as a notable alumni, so I got a long way to go.
They overlooked
NBA
that
basketball games for a long time.
That's their mistake.
Bill Plaschke made it, though.
Bill Plaschke went to Edwardsville?
Mm-hmm. So did Dwayne Statz, and he's on there. Dwayne Statz has been doing play-by-play for a while. I don't know why Bill Land hasn't made it.
Wow, that's a pretty good alum and in the broadcast field that we are in, so pretty darn good stuff. It is Tuesday. It's time to talk some Memphis Tigers men's basketball with Cody Toppert.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is Tigers assistant coach Cody Toppert. Now, here's Coach Toppert with Greg and Eli.
Good early season challenge for the Tigers tonight against St. Louis University at FedEx Forum. Cody Toppert joins us, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach. You can follow him on Twitter at Top33. I watched you, Cody, before the North Carolina Central game. It had to have been 20 in a row, corner jumpers, threes, with that left-handed sweet stroke. Wow. I knew you had a good three-point shot, but I didn't know it was that good.
When I was really young, my mama said don't miss, so I decided to try and make them all.
I would imagine in practices you have a little fun and have some, shooting contests. Do you outshoot those guys?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. But the real issue that I'm having here, I can't make the Cornell notable alumni list either, mostly because Bill Nye the Science Guy went there. Who would have thought?
Come on, we got to get Cody on that list. We got to get Eli on his list.
You should absolutely be on that list. That's ridiculous.
One of these days.
it's life goals. That's you got to have life goals. That's you try to make those notable alumni lists.
I was on Maryland's list at one point. I don't know if I still am. I think people edit those things in, edit those things out. But yeah, that's kind of crazy stuff. But anyway, 2-0, two pretty solid performances. I know the turnovers were a little high, and the first game especially defensively not as good, but much better in game 2. What is your overall thoughts on the way the team played in those first 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, we did what we were supposed to do. We got enough stops. We got out in transition. We shared the ball a decent amount in that first game. Second game, we got a little bit stagnant. We've got to just stick with our principles on both sides of the basketball. I mean, the big concern in that last game, definitely offensive rebounding for sure. We did a great job of getting to the free throw line. I mean, anytime we attempt nearly 50 free throws in a game, that's going to give us a great chance to win. But we've got to keep opponents off the glass. And at the end of the day, we know on the offensive side of the basketball, we've got to continue to move it, right? So those are the main focuses. They don't change, from day to day, game to game. You don't want to overreact to one thing or another. It's really just chip away. Coach Hardaway always says we've got this laundry list of stuff that we want to start checking off to where, we don't have to make it like 50 First Dates, right? The movie where Drew Barrymore walks in, it's like you just met her for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. So we're getting to the point on our offensive side, right, where even though we haven't been forced to execute too much here, at least we have confidence that everybody will know, what we're trying to do and where to go. But on the defensive side, it's the same thing, right? Because we're always talking about our help rotations. So we call it nail and low man, right? So when the ball's on one side of the floor, right, you don't want to chase your man on the other side. And we've got a bunch of different intricate rotations there that we need these guys to have in their mind almost as second nature in order for us to make sure that if there's a negative trigger created that we're rotating appropriately and then obviously finishing plays with rebounds.
I would assume the turnovers, I guess, probably are still the biggest concern.
Yeah, I mean, we had some charges. We had some, big guys turning the ball over. I mean, Jalen has like 4 turnovers or whatever, and it's like, those are the ones that, in the tight games, right, there's not going to be as much carelessness with the basketball. But if you build a habit of being careless early on, the fear is that will, continue to follow you. But the other main thing is, and this is what, I personally have been kind of working on with some of our guys, is there are some possessions where we come down and we look disorganized. And the reason is because we didn't have a voice in the huddle at the free throw or during the dead ball situation. We didn't have a dominating voice that called our play, right? So if you say it, they'll do it. If you don't say it, well, we can't read minds. And so, we actually watched some film of some NFL quarterbacks in the huddle, right, how they're communicating their play calls to their team. And to be honest with you, it doesn't have to be the point guard, but there has to be a really dominating voice out there that, if we commit a foul or whatever the case may be, the minute we huddle, those huddles have to be purposeful. We can't be talking about something that just happened because we can't control it. I've never seen a referee change a call. I've never seen anything get accomplished in one of those huddles concerning the last play that's going to help us on the next play, because we're always in some sort of transition, either transition to offense, transition to defense. And so we've got to make sure our guys are on the same page, and we've got to make sure that we have a dominating voice in there that gets us in something so we are organized.
All right, so who is that voice? Because let's be honest here. Alo has started, but he hasn't played a ton of minutes. He would be a candidate, you would think. DeAndre Williams fouled out of the game, didn't play a lot of minutes in game number 2, but hopefully that's not something that will happen a lot. But he's a guy who could be vocal. I mean, who's the leader? Who's the guy that needs to gather, especially those young players, and gather them and make sure everybody's on the same page?
When I was a freshman, I was starting at Cornell, and we had a point guard. His name was Wallace Prather, and I tucked my shirt in. I had to tuck it in real good. You lift your arms up, make sure it's not tucked in too tight. And every free throw, if I was wandering somewhere, this dude would just grab my jersey and pull me in there. Now my shirt's all untucked. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of time tucking that thing inappropriately. I never forget it happening all the time. And he's like, "Get your rear in here." And, he was commanding the huddle. Who can it be? I think it can be Earl Timberlake. I spent a lot of time with him talking about it. I think it can be Alo during his minutes. It doesn't have to be the point guard, like I said. Can it be DeAndre Williams? It can, right? But my thing with DeAndre, I'm always joking with him. I mean, he's got the attention span of a fly, right? So we've got to make sure that he's locked in, right? Because he's someone who can be vocal, but he needs to use it in the right way at the other end of the floor. So the answer that I saw, though, when I went to go watch team final play, Jalen Duren was calling the plays for those guys. It wasn't the point guard on team finals calling the plays. And the real smart guys, actually, right, by the time I figured out what Wallace was doing over there, I kind of realized, well, dang, he's always calling his play. How come I get in this huddle and he's always calling his play? So I learned from him. Sophomore year, moving forward, all my years playing overseas, whether I was the point guard, the shooting guard, or this or that. But I tell you what, I was calling my number a good amount, right? So maybe Imani will step up and be like, hey, guys, let's run such and such play. I'm going to come off the double stagger in the corner and let's hit the two-man game in the middle with Jalen. But it's going to start somewhere, hopefully inch by inch. We'll build that up, right? So if we can regain that organization that we have on about 35% of our plays and push that number up to about 65%, and the remainder of the game is played in transition off of flow, then we'll be all right.
Is that guy on the notable alumni from Cornell?
He is. He's an NBA agent right now. He's kind of knocked it out of the park. So he's doing well for himself. His dad started the Atlanta Celtics, which is like a big time AAU.
Yep,
so,
they are.
Who would have thought? I'm just pulling for scraps. Don't worry about me.
Well, tonight, St. Louis University. Now they don't have their all conference preseason selection. He's out for the year, Javonte Perkins. But what do you expect from this St. Louis University team?
Yeah, they haven't skipped a beat, right? Their point guard, Yuri Collins, he is your quintessential floor general. Runs the team, averages almost 8 assists a game. Number 24, Jimerson. His name's Gibson Jimerson, 2 last names, right? And this guy will let it fly from anywhere. We really can't. This team is a serious team. Travis Ford has them executing, and we all know that Jordan Nesbitt is making his triumphant return to the FedEx Forum. So he's going to be fired up, and there's no doubt that he's an emotional guy as well. He can play off of that for good or bad. And so, it's his Super Bowl, and this is a massive game for those guys. So they're going to come in fired up.
When you're dealing with impressionable young players and you're getting ready for, with no disrespect to North Carolina Central and Tennessee Tech, but teams that you should have manhandled and you did, and they know, they're not stupid. But now, do they understand that St. Louis is a much tougher? I'm not saying this is Gonzaga out here, but they're good. They're really good. And do they understand when you're moving up a level of competition? Then that will happen next week when you go to the Barclays, and that'll happen when you play some of these SEC foes, because you can probably get into a little rut when you win easy in your first few games. That now it may not be so easy.
Well, that's the thing. I guess we will see tonight if they're listening, right? Because we know that even when you play the Tennessee Techs or whatever, North Carolina Central, I think is going to be a pretty solid team. You play those teams, it's their Super Bowl. You can explain it to them. We can explain it again to St. Louis, right? This is the key game on their schedule as well. But until we see it in person, right, who knows, to be honest with you. That's the big question mark, right? Will they take this seriously and understand, this is a big game and this is a quality opponent? My thought process is our guys, they love to play basketball so much. Their energy levels are through the roof during pregame warm-ups and things like that. And so now if we can just get their focus to match their energy and their communication to match their energy, then I think we'll be fine, because the important thing is learning how to execute under duress. We know the opponents, they're going to watch film. Teams are going to try to take you out of our stuff, right? And we've got to be able to execute it when it matters. Things like baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, knowing where to go, and then executing the play. Because we know you might find that one game we run out of timeouts, baseline out of bounds, right? And we practice the one play that we know we want to run to try to get a layup at the end of the game, might win us a game, right? Or that sideline out of bounds play for 3, no timeouts. We run it every day in practice. But now, you actually need it. And, we'll see. But I think our guys will be up to the challenge. I'm hopeful.
You talked last week a lot about the different 5-man and 3-man lineups and getting that data and figuring things out. From what you've seen so far, are the lineups kind of the ones you thought would be good, the good ones, or is there anything that kind of been a surprise to you through those first 2 games?
They are who we thought they were. It's pretty much that simple, right? That starting group has done a really good job of getting up, and then starting the second half, in both games they've been outstanding, right? So we came out on a 14-2 run to start the last game. And right now what we've got to do is we've got to find that groove where as substitutions come in, that we don't have a drop-off, right? We've got to maintain or expand leads. Those are where the really good teams step up, right? Gonzaga versus Texas, Gonzaga makes a couple of subs. Their push-away point was just after the midway point of the first half, where all of a sudden this thing went from 10 to 15. And that can be a big, big deciding factor because now teams are killing timeouts. They're trying to stop those runs. And now, a 15 can go to a 20, right? But a 15 can also just as quickly go to a 10 or an 8. So I think I'm looking for those guys to continue to get more comfortable in the environment with the fans and with, just college basketball in general for a lot of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think as they continue to mesh, we'll see some guys being much more comfortable, especially in that second unit.
Still going to be very interested. We all are when you finally play a tight game, and that may happen tonight. If Penny sticks to what he said, 9-man rotation, 10 at the most. We've seen everybody. Tyler Harris came off the bench and really had a good game in the second game of the season. So it'll be very interesting to see what Penny ends up doing with the rotation. I know game 2, Jaden got the start. You're not Penny. You're not making the decision, but do you expect Lester to be back in the starting lineup tonight?
I mean, I think we're going to roll 5 guys out there, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, you like that answer, right? That was a good one, huh?
Well, I can go one farther. Jalen Dern and Amani Bates are going to start. I'm going to say that. I'm going to go out there on a limb, unless, God forbid, something happened in the last few days that I don't know about.
The only promises I can make are 5 white jerseys.
There you go.
I would say there'll be 5 dark jerseys, too. But I would there be 10 people starting this game.
I bet
tonight.
there'll be 3 striped jerseys out there on the court somewhere as well. Earl Timberlake took a major step in a positive direction in Game 2. He's got a ways to go still, but a lot different looking player in Game 2 compared to his first game.
Well, people tend to say, hey, it's like riding a bike. No, it's definitely not, right? There's a lot of readjusting that takes place because basketball is a big rhythm sport. It's a massive rhythm sport. It's not like football where it's just stop, call, play, go, stop, call, play, go. There's so much that has to do with feel because the real-time decision-making, is really taking place in 0.5 seconds. And what we saw from him is just a commitment to making quicker decisions in the last game. Still, little ways to go on a few things, but what we try to tell our guys is our offense is designed to create a negative trigger within the defense. And once 2 guys guard the ball and we kick it out, it has to be quick decisions from there on out, right? We call it dominoes because when we take one domino down, the last thing we want to do is catch and hold it and allow the defense to get square. And so I think what we saw from him was a commitment to making quick decisions in the last game. And he's such a good passer. I mean, we saw it with 6 assists, that when he commits to making those quick decisions, he sees holes in the defense and he's able to get passes to open shooters or open cutters. And that's really what we need from him. So, if all of our guys commit to making those quick decisions and having that 0.5 mentality, shoot it, rip it, swing it, then we'll be in a good shape.
Yeah, you're getting ripped off, by the way, on the notable alumni. They only have 4 basketball people listed for Cornell notable alumni. You should be on that list.
But I think that the major issues with that list, I mean, there's too many diplomats, there's too many high-ranking government officials.
They have to break it down by. They've got category after category with all kinds of people. Then when they get into sports,
senators,
they go by
governors.
sport. But they got a bunch of hockey guys. They could add another basketball guy or 2. Hell, their crime section is bigger than their basketball section. Don't get on the crime list, though. You do not want to be on the crime list for notable alumni.
Oh, Charles. Hey, I've made it 38 years and stayed off that list, so I think I'll be all right.
That's pretty impressive for a school to have a crime section to their notable alumni. I didn't know that.
By the end of my coaching career, I might be able to get on here under the psychiatrist section. So.
probably a lot of white-collar crime with the Ivy Leaguers, I'm sure. He is Cody Topper, Tigers assistant basketball coach. You can follow him on Twitter at Top33. Catch him every Tuesday during the Tigers basketball season right here on Sports 56 Mornings. I will see you over at FedEx Forum later today. Thanks, Cody.
Sounds like a fan. We'll see you guys there.
Take care.
One of the guys under their crime section, actually, this is funny. Mark Gerard, he perpetrated horse racing fraud by switching horses' identities.
Gosh.
So what did if a horse is a long shot, he switched that with a good horse so you could go bet the long shot? And they couldn't figure out which horse was which?
I guess they didn't do a thorough enough job in making sure. I'm sure regulations were changed after this guy. Wow.
It's actually a pretty genius plan if you got some horses that look alike and one's 50-1 and you got the favorite looks just like him and you just switch the two horses.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with these Ivy Leaguers, right? They're so intelligent, they don't always use it for good. They use it for bad sometimes. I would imagine a lot of guys that have been arrested for insider trading have come from the Ivy League and white-collar crime. I'm sure there's a lot of it. I can't believe there's that many criminals compared to athletes, although you think about Cornell. Now, Cornell, was Cornell where Ed Marinaro played? Do you remember Ed Marinaro? He was on Hill Street Blues. He became an actor, but he played in the NFL. He played with the Vikings. I think he went to Cornell. He may have went to Dartmouth, but I think it's Cornell.
Cornell.
Is he on there? Is he on the list? Ed Marinaro?
They don't. Let's see.
Was he Cornell?
Yes, he is. He's under their football section. They feature Cornell right now. Two of the two commissioners. They have both Rob Manfred and Gary Bettman.
Wow.
Are Cornell graduates.
Yeah, how can you expect Cody to be on that list when you have those two guys?
Well, the only basketball people they list are Brian Colangelo, John Jacques, Nat Miletzak, and Larry Weinberg.
Larry Weinberg,
they got plenty of room for basketball guys.
Yeah, you can put Cody Topper on that list.
Goodness gracious, he's a major college assistant coach, and he's been in the G League and NBA. Cody Topper deserves to be on there. Got lacrosse guys here.
Yeah, they're big in lacrosse. Cornell's really big in lacrosse. Corky's is big in ribs and barbecue. In fact, a Memphis staple for over 30 years. Voted the #1 barbecue restaurant in Memphis 22 times. Delicious barbecue, their shoulder, their ribs, their beef, their chicken, delicious sides, their world-famous onion loaf. Also outstanding barbecue nachos and tamales, hamburgers as well. Those chicken bites, you got great deals on those original or spicy chicken bites. Man, they are delicious. And desserts like their chocolate swirl banana pudding cheesecake. They always have lunch specials. So check them out if you're getting ready for lunch later today or for dinner. Let me suggest Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. 4 convenient locations. Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. That's my go-to. Poplar Avenue in Collierville. Germantown Parkway in Cordova. And Goodman Road in Olive Branch. I think the only one I haven't been to is Poplar Avenue in Collierville. You can dine in, carry out, or have Corky's cater an event. Shop online, have Corky's deliver their delicious barbecue anywhere in the United States. And a Corky's gift card makes a great gift. Great stocking stuffer as well for Christmas. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Again, if you missed it earlier, our 5 favorite things topic for tomorrow, your 5 favorite college football coaches of all time. We're not asking you to list the best of all time, the best ranked. Your favorite, your criteria for your 5 favorite college football coaches.
Huey Lewis dropped out of Cornell.
Well, he got the news that it was not good to, hang around, get in the music business.
He gives Cornell a bad name.
What? No, that's Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's right. What's it? Oh, A Heart of Rock and Roll. I'll think of Heart of Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
You
give love a bad name. That was Bon Jovi.
Huey just couldn't hack it at Cornell. but he still gets listed as a notable guy, notable alumni, and he couldn't even hack it.
Well, I think he got kicked out because he wanted a new drug.
No, that's...
Oh, gosh. We'll take a timeout. Come back with our final segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303.
Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hi, friends. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and it's now time to get serious about Christmas shopping for your special lady. As we celebrate our 36th Christmas at Russell Brothers this year, we have gathered the most stunning collection of beautiful diamonds and gemstones that you can possibly imagine. Exquisitely designed, crafted with the finest workmanship. Our array of rings and bracelets, pendants and earrings will dazzle your lady and will give her the message very clearly how much you care about her. You care enough to give her the best. If you've never been to Russell Brothers, we invite you to join our many, many customers. Come and see what a difference personal attention can make. Drive right up to our front door. Come on in and be a part of that 36th Christmas, and let us show you what value, quality, service, and selection can look like as you select a piece for her that will make you the best Santa Claus ever. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
The NFL season is giving us a big Week 11 divisional matchup between rivals the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks, and FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can win $150 on a $5 bet. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. Already a FanDuel Sportsbook user? FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will get $50 too. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up with promo code BIGHEAD this week before the Cardinals take on the Seahawks. You could win $150 on a $5 bet exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Join Ja, Jaron, and your Next Gen Grizz Thursday at 7 p.m. as they go up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Get hyped, get ready for a showstopper, and get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
This hour is indeed brought to you by Acura of Memphis, just around the corner from us here at Flynn Broadcasting on Ridgeway, right at 385. That's where you find Acura of Memphis. That's where you find A huge selection of automobiles from new to pre-owned, including those certified pre-owned Acuras that they've got on the lot there that you can choose from. You can also go to their website at AcuraofMemphis.com to get all kinds of information on all of the different vehicles, see the inventory of pre-owned vehicles that they've got before you go over there and take a test drive, and you'll be blown away, including that new 2022 MDX, completely redesigned, built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, third-row seating as well. Check it out at Acura of Memphis. They bring you hour number 3 of our program each and every day. Virginia Tech Athletic Director Whit Babcock, I guess, meeting with the media, says that Virginia Tech is going to pay Justin Fuente $8.75 million in his buyout, negotiated down from $10 million. So they saved themselves a little bit of money, $1.25 million.
So why does Justin and his agent accept that? Because he could have gotten all $10 million, right? Like, what advantage do you have in negotiating there when they canned you without cause and they owed you $10 million because it happened before December 15th, 2021?
You can ask them that. I don't know.
Hey, if you take all $10 million, we're going to make it hard for you to get another job somewhere. It's like, all right, let's negotiate. I can't imagine that was the case.
The fact that he doesn't have to coach the rest of the season, he's getting a paid vacation for the rest of the year.
Well, that was happening either way.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Justin that. Speaking of college coaches, Brett Bielema at Illinois has tested positive for COVID. He will not be able to coach this weekend as his Fighting Illini take on Iowa.
Do you have any idea if he has had the vaccination?
He has, according to what people say. He's been vaccinated and just got a booster last week or recently. I don't think it's last week that he got his booster. So yeah, he is vaccinated, but has tested positive and will not coach this weekend. So. He's done a good job at Illinois.
I think he has. I think he's done a really good job.
He's suited for Big Ten football. Like that's what he is suited for. Obviously had great success at Wisconsin, and he's done a pretty darn good job so far at Illinois. I mean, they don't have much talent. He took over a bit of a disaster. We'll see what it ends up happening there, but I think in the Big Ten is a good spot for Brett Bielema to be.
Again, Justin Fuente fired early this morning at Virginia Tech in his 6th season. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. And I just, during the break, was talking with Dave, and I said, rank the Tigers football coaches, the best football coaches of all time. And he, right off the bat, he goes, Spook Murphy, he started the program. Chuck Stobart had a lot of big wins over SEC schools. And these are guys before my time and before I arrived in Memphis. But the third, he said Tommy West. And he said, well, Tommy got him back to a bowl game and got into a few bowl games, and then it went south, and, of course, the famous departure speech from Tommy. But I said, well, what about Fuente or Norvell? And then he started to, the mind started to calculate. Maybe, I'm sure he'll talk about it when he comes on, but I'd love to throw that out there to our listeners. I know we're out of time here, but something that I'd be very interested to hear from especially loyal Tiger football fans, there's a lot of them out there, how they would rank those and where you would put Fuente and Norvell on that list. Do you consider Norvell more prominent than Fuente or vice versa? Again, Fuente takes over from the Larry Porter disaster. First year, not good, but then boom, second year, it starts to work out, and then it gets better and better and better. He takes advantage of getting a job offer from a Power 5, goes to Virginia Tech. Norvell jumps in, doesn't miss a beat. Ryan jumps in for Norvell, starts off great last year. This year, some hiccups, and that's why we got to that conversation earlier about the future, and we both agree that obviously Ryan Silverfield has done a really nice job and will be back for next season, no question about it. But if they don't get to a bowl, could there be some roster changes? Absolutely. But as far as the history of Memphis football, I'd love to hear from our listeners where they rank those head coaches.
It was year 3 for Fuente when it started to take off.
So what was year 2's record?
3-9.
Ooh, I didn't even realize that off my memory.
Yeah,
thought it was year 2. So year 3.
He had
but he got it done.
Years that they took off. The next year was the Miami Beach Bowl year.
Yeah, and he got his guys in there. And, of course, the amazing story of Paxton Lynch and how they were able to get him, as he was prominent as an individual helping turn things around for Memphis football. But they got it turned around. That's the bottom line.
Year 2 was when he was starting Paxton, and everybody wanted the other guy to start.
They wanted the piano player.
I can't remember his name now. But
yeah. How soon we forget.
But yeah, then they went from 3-9 to 10-3 from year 2 to year 3. Went to the Miami Beach Bowl, and
that was the big jump.
The rest, they say, is history. Did a fantastic job here, and again, I think he'll certainly get another opportunity down the road. Whether it happens immediately as a head coach, I don't know. Maybe he goes in as a coordinator somewhere. But I'm a fan of Justin Fuente.
We want to thank our guest today, Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South, Jeff Crane, of course, University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director, and Memphis Tigers Assistant Coach Cody Topper. The Tigers tonight at 7:02 will tip off against the Billikens of St. Louis. We will talk about it on the program tomorrow. We'll also talk Grizzlies. They return to action Thursday as they'll host the Clippers. Sean Coleman from the Locked On Grizz podcast and SB Nation Grizzlies coverage, he will join us. Jerry Palm from CBS Sports. Of course, the selection committee will have their latest top 25 rankings tonight. We will discuss that with JP tomorrow. And Sigmund Bloom will answer all your NFL fantasy football questions. That's all coming up tomorrow. Don't forget 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite college football coaches of all time. Again, Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is just ahead. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.